Hello, and welcome to the BYB Podcast. That stands for the Backyard Boys.
Backyard Boys.
And tonight, for your entertainment, we got a couple guys on. We got Tuddle from Bubba the Love Sponge and many other radio programs. And, of course, Pat Dixon, as you well know, from New York Crime Report and the Pat Dixon Show, which was on YouTube, but those sons of bitches. What's that, Pat?
People think of me as Felicia Gillespie's ex.
Yes, the ex. Yes.
I know your voice, Pat Dixon. I know your voice very well. Like, why does it sound so familiar to me?
I don't know. Haunting your dreams.
Well, just for everybody out there, Tuddle was on a bunch of radio programs in New York City. You were on like the Ron and Fez and whatnot.
Yeah, Ron. Yeah.
So, me and Granny were having this conversation earlier today, as a matter of fact. Like, we were both very curious if you had possibly run into each other, maybe through radio programs or something along those lines.
Pat Dixon did a lot of stuff with Opie and Anthony. Yeah.
Just Anthony.
Just Anthony. All right. So were you always up at the Sirius studios or back when? Or
every once in a while, I went there for a couple of things, but I don't think I went there when O&A was. I was on Ron Bennington's show.
Bennington's? Oh, you were, dude. Ron is the greatest. I absolutely love Ron Bennington. He might be one of the most wittiest people or person that you're ever going to meet when it comes to him. He's become a great interviewer as well, too.
Yeah, I worked with him another time as well. He is great. You're right. I agree with everything you said. He was on. He hosted Rich Voss and Bonnie McFarlane's. I don't know. It was like a newlywed game takeoff thing. My new wife at the time did that show back in like 20. I don't know, whenever it was 16, 17, something like that.
Mom's House, like that podcast.
No, it was for a live audience. It was like a live newlywed game thing that they did at the Fat Black Pussycat, and we killed it.
Okay,
we killed it. We got some big points. One of the questions was how many dicks would you say that your wife has sucked? And I said 100. It was my answer. And people were like, God, come on, But then, her answer matched mine. I'll just say
wait. Can we ask a question? I mean, since we do actually have a couple on the show, I would love to ask TJ, how many dicks do you think Lemmy has sucked in her lifetime?
Well, she has to close her ears for the answer to see if they match.
Who?
I thought you were going to ask how many dicks has he sucked. That would have been more interesting if you asked me.
One of them is me.
Okay, and that's it.
How many dicks do you have? Just the one. Okay.
Yeah, I've only got the one dick. Yeah. It's not impressive, Pat. You don't have to ask. Don't worry about it. No, it's fine.
Never impressed. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I would say 2 dicks. Lemmy?
You are correct.
What?
Fucking hell.
And you know what they say, 2 dicks is always better than 1.
Not at the same fucking time, you crippled piece of shit.
Oh, I misunderstood, maybe.
Yeah,
that's an issue. I do have those kind of issues.
Mine, your ex-husband.
Okay. We were planning on stream sniping a show called Keith and the Girl because Pat Dixon and Felicia Gillespie is on with this Keith fellow. And we had planned on stream sniping them. And then their stream went down just as we were about to go live ourselves. And of course, they are now back up and in action. And we would like to take you folks on a journey through the mind of Pat Dixon, seeing through the eyes of Felicia Gillespie on a shitty podcast called Keith and the Girl.
Shut that dog up.
It's on my voicemail. You in the act of cheating on me.
Yeah.
He goes, let me hear it.
Not talking
And
about
he-
it.
These
and he listens
liars.
to-
Like, how can I? Let me hear it and what excuse I can make up.
I had to take a shit,
This
and
was
I
not
was
me.
holding it in,
Not
and
me.
it was so painful.
I went,
Yes.
Who is this?
I was
Oh my
queen?
God.
that hurts.
Who's this queen host?
Who's
of
the other voice? The guy in the bathroom asking if you're okay?
That's Pat's
She was having her
ex.
own bathroom thing. Oh my god!
Wait, is
And
the
then-
dude Pat's
So
ex?
now I follow
or
what's
is the
doing,
chick?
and I didn't know this.
Which
You
queen
dated a
are you
one
talking
Pat
about?
Dixon.
I'm talking about the
I
dude.
did, yeah.
How'd that go?
Oh, shit. He does seem like
It
a
is
bitchy
not
queen,
working.
doesn't he?
It's not looking good. What I'm seeing online, I'll tell you that much. And I'm hearing about an order of protection you have against him.
I'm
police were
hearing
being
about
called
it.
in this
I'm hearing about
relationship.
an order of.
And
heard about
I
it
think
because
what
I brought
upsets
it
me
up.
the most.
You fucking idiot.
I don't know if it's Pat Dixon or that
Oh.
you've listened to Keith and the Girl before.
You've
You've
Yes.
heard
listened to
multiple
them.
women talk about Pat.
No
I
women
have
talk about
Violence,
me.
physical and
No.
otherwise.
No violence, lies.
manipulation,
Nobody
you know,
came
head
forward with
fuckery,
anything
all-
like
all
that.
this kind of stuff.
Lies.
What
Really?
And you know, and we've had our own
apparently is a
problems. with
liar.
him. He has been sexually inappropriate to our interns. We happened
No,
to walk
I
in on
haven't.
something and
What?
caught it live.
No,
Then I
haven't.
announced this on the
Wait, they're
show,
putting-
even
they're
after we
putting-
talked to him.
all
We
untrue.
announced it, as you've heard, and then female comedians reach out to us, and you would know a lot of these names.
None
And
of
if it's a
them
new
did.
comedian, he'll go so far as like saying, making them twirl around in
Go
front
back
of him in
and-
the green room. If he happens to have seen this
Twirl
person
around it,
before, he has
Please.
grabbed women straight up, came behind him, grabbed their waist, and started dry
Tuddle,
humping
I
them.
have a question for
Now that I
you.
probably
These
Wow.
there's multiple people and people whose names you would know. And somebody said, "Well, if you're not going to say the names and exactly what happened, blah blah blah." It's like, well, you know why women don't.
I mean,
say
that's
it.
kind of hot
And
if
they
you
go,
did
well,
that,
Pat,
Pat.
will take you to court. And I said, well, then let him take me to court, because if you take me to court,
They
women
think
have said they
That
will.
people will believe
So
that.
no, I'm certainly
These
not
women,
here
none
about
of this
that.
would be.
These are
They're
things that have
quoting
happened.
alleged
Somebody's-
anonymous people. Alleged.
Yeah.
anonymous
All right.
people.
What makes you
And that's
have-
from the
I have-
Bonnie McFarlane thing.
have to wonder?
No,
what makes
this
you
is from
hear
forever
these
ago,
women,
way
let's
before
say,
that.
Mayor Mandy Statmiller, later his wife. What makes you think that they're all making it up? Or
Okay, so all I had heard before I dated him was that when it went down, I think it was like news all over New York. I wasn't living in New York at the time, but I
It
had a
wasn't.
friend in Philly,
It
a
was
comedian
not.
friend, and he told me because he knew that I knew Pat. I knew Pat when I was 20 years old.
Okay.
So he told me
Damn.
about it, and I
Oh,
was like,
shit.
oh, okay. And I
Money?
listened,
Good
and
for
I
you.
heard the
I'm sorry,
sexual.
Pat told you that, hey, you might hear some shit. Let me play it for you. And
No,
talk
no,
about
because
it?
we weren't in touch when
Oh,
this went
okay.
down.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Pat,
did
you
not
pushing
speak to each other
pickle,
for
brother?
16 years in between knowing each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So a friend of mine told me, so I was like, okay, I'll listen to
Ooh.
it. He's like, yeah, Pat Dixon's getting me too, and I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it.
Uh-huh.
And
Boy, oh
all,
boy.
all I heard was you guys talking about he was weird with women, but the main story was that he was rude to you guys. Like he had worked with you for so long,
Right.
and then just fucking snapped on you in
Yes,
a
that's
bar,
true.
and
He was
Yeah,
playing
and-
piano. He was playing piano, and he goes, nobody happened to be in this little area, and he was playing piano, and me and a couple guys walked
Yeah.
into this room.
You and your
You know, I
crew.
guess that creek in the cave. He dated the owner, and he gets permission to use the piano whenever he wants, something like that.
This
So,
dude ever try to suck your dick?
I happen to be in there, and he goes, "Hey, what's this song I'm playing?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like,
Pat.
"You know it," and he started getting real mad, like,
Hold on, I wanna
know
hear
it." I'm like, "I really don't." It's Rolling Stones. I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know."
This is not how it
Fuck
happened.
you, fuck all you guys, and he
Not
he
how it
ran out.
happened at all.
And then something happened with like another woman. I'm like, I'm hearing
Not
all
at
these
all.
things. Why are we even putting up with you?
Thank you.
And then everything came out. Long story short.
yeah. And so I had only listened to one of those episodes. I didn't know there was a series of episodes at the time.
Yeah.
So I'd only listened to one, and I was like, he wasn't in my life. I didn't care that much, but my initial thing was like, well, he's never done anything like sexually inappropriate to me, and I didn't know him that well, but I was like, okay, whatever. It was an
I
interesting
got her
story.
virginity. I didn't know him that well, but I
And
got her
so now
virginity, and we hung out for months. I mean, come on. We hung
That's
out for
kind of a weird
years.
thing to say, Pat. That
I
I'm
know, I
not
didn't-
gonna lie to you. It's a weird thing to say, brother.
What I just said?
Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what the allegations could possibly be that you do weird sexual stuff. Like, everybody does weird sexual stuff. I don't know what the implication there is even trying to say.
I'm not exactly.
That's weird.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do is a lot of implication, and you're supposed to a lot of inference we're supposed to be picking up from all this. He knows how to talk all around it without ever actually saying a thing. I mean, he used to call me a sex predator, which doesn't have any real legal meaning to insulate himself against any sort of potential lawsuit or trouble. He's a liar.
Why? What? Can I just ask I'd like to see both sides of the story. Well, what does this guy have against you?
Well, I mean, I did his show 45 times. Okay. The second most of anybody that had done their show. They actually counted.
Yeah.
For years, I was friends with these guys. And then, like, one night, I'm playing piano at the Creek in the Cave. He shows up, play Fly Me to the Moon. Play Fly Me. Come on. Play Fly Me to the Moon. And he starts just, like, fucking harassing me while I'm sitting there playing. He won't go away. I'm like, just leave me alone. And, you know, whatever. And then finally, I'm just like, you're fucking drunk. All these guys are drunks. Fuck you. And I left. It's nothing like what he described. I mean, it was like he was it's like an after school special or some shit.
So has there ever been anything romantic between these two? Because this reminds me of the nerd and all the John Hughes movies that tries to be friends with the other woman.
Oh, the beta that tries to slide in all the time during the movie, right?
Definitely, that's
he
kind of
does
white
have
knighting.
beta energy, doesn't he?
He's doing the white knighting thing for sure. Yeah, but you know, he talks to a lot of betas. His fans are betas. You know, that's who he speaks to. I want to hear what they're saying.
What he say?
You don't mind?
So, tell me what. Yeah. So, okay. First, let me hear about the choking that you choked him in a hotel room.
Okay, now I'm pissed about the fucking food.
She
thing.
did.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
All right, so yeah, that never happened. I've never choked him. He said
you
that
did.
because
Yes,
he was.
you
This
did.
whole thing has been going back and forth between us for just recently.
It wasn't for
He has been
long.
talking shit about me for a very long time, years. I've asked him to stop multiple times.
I haven't been talking shit about her for years. I've never mentioned her name ever,
stop, and even
or
after the
referred to
final
her as my
breakup, he
ex and
wouldn't
said a
stop.
bunch of shit.
So
ever.
I finally was like, fuck this. I'm going to start talking about him.
Okay, turn it down a
he's
second.
Smearing me.
Don't
He's
mind.
lying about me.
Because this is key. She needs everybody to think I've been talking about her because she's coming out of nowhere when I haven't said shit about her since we broke up. I haven't said a fucking word about her. So she needs everybody to think I've been talking all this shit. Nobody can produce anything. There's no example of this. If I've been doing it so much, show me an example. Tell me of it. You know, send me you don't even have to show it. Just let me know.
Yeah, and I watch a shitload of your content, Pat, and I can pretty much confirm I've never really heard you bring her up until she popped out of the woodwork here more recently. Maybe there was one little instance before that you had mentioned her, but it's not like something you talk about on regular at all.
No, not by name at all.
Hey Pat, are we gonna hear any like Mel Gibson type videotapes of you like yelling at her?
Like Hulk Hogan cuckold videos, maybe, like
she was trying to build a case towards the end. You know, I mean, she had a plan, and she started like provoking me, and then when I got really mad, she would let tape roll, and so there might be if she wants to go there, she's definitely recorded me yelling at her.
But not like any of the racist stuff like Mel Gibson came out with, right? Where he was
like if you get
raped by a pack of
type deals like we.
No.
It's your fault.
If you did.
Every people in the community have heard about Pat
Spit it
Dixon
out,
like
Junior.
this multiple times, and to not want to grab on, to not take that in, and I get why you wouldn't take it in, because then you have a new truth, and now you have to deal with that. And it's
to be fair, she looks like she could take a punch.
What Felicia get out of making this up? Not a fucking thing. If anything, hassle.
I can tell you what Pat Dixon has said about you, the reason why you did this. And he goes, well, everybody knows this about the show. They have a person on a certain amount of times and they get rid of them when they're sick of them.
Yeah, we
So
call
they
him a
wanted to make it.
rapist. We call him a. Well, here's the thing too.
Oh, I'm a right. Okay.
I go. This guy's
Wow.
a sexual predator, and Pat goes,
Sexual
"Oh, do you hear this? So I'm a
predator.
rapist now, guys. I guess." I'm like, I didn't say that because I
You
know
just
that's
did.
a trick, right? Like, oh, you,
Yeah.
I caught you stealing money from my wallet.
Yeah, so he's trying to pull the same shit today, like as we're
Yeah,
watching, which
totally.
is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like, okay, so we can do that too. What's he saying?
We could do it all over again.
The previous question, the reason why he has to come out and go, well, she choked me, is because he was about to reveal himself. I was served an order of protection. So, and
Not
even when
about
saying I was
anything like
served an order of protection,
Served an
the
order
whole
of
thing is filled
protection.
with lies and
Okay.
taking out details. That's how these people do
There
it.
is.
So
Okay.
he says
Where are your
there was
details?
an option to get mutual orders of protection. That never happened. You
Yes,
can't just
it did.
be served like, hey, you have to. It's a court summons. You're come to defend yourself. He never filed for an order of
No,
protection against me.
no. I
What
didn't
actually
think-
happened
no.
was that they offered me a 6-month restraining order. And that's different from an order of protection, because if you violate a restraining order, the consequences are not as severe. And
Okay.
I declined that offer. And then because I wanted the full order of protection.
What did
So
she?
that's
I
not, I don't
didn't
know
even
why
know-
he said that.
I wanted nothing to do with her. I'm not even sure how she can be saying this shit. I mean, they said a mutual order of protection for 6 months. She's like, no. Okay. What about and so it ended up being a 3-month thing because of, I guess they had anything. The recordings of me yelling at her was probably what he was influenced by. The rest of what she brought was vandalism on her car. And so she was saying that I vandalized her car, but it was all this normal wear and tear shit, these close-up pictures of her car. She looked like a crazy person in jail. I'm just going to say it. She looked like a crazy person. I mean, did I say in jail? In court. In court. She came off nuts. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over this, but.
So, did they ever get the order of protection put through then?
They
Did it
wanted
exist?
more. They wanted like a full, like 2 years or 5 years or some lengthy thing. And the judge grudgingly said, okay, 3 months, but he marked out the word abuse on it. He made sure it was clear that there was no abuse whatsoever. He actually said, I've heard a lot of stuff I'm not very impressed by here, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. Yeah.
Okay.
She wanted a lot of stuff. She mostly wanted it so I couldn't talk about her.
Oh, like a non-whatever. Like
She had a
an
big
NDA type
NDA.
situation.
NDA.
Something like
An
that.
NDA. She wanted a non-disclosure agreement.
Let's listen.
Which is ridiculous for just domestic squabbling bullshit.
Off. In those 3 months,
And make
he
peace.
still violated the order of protection.
And we're here because of violence. We're here because of violence. Well, we're gonna cool off in 3 months.
No, we're not.
Right.
We
so it's
It had no. There
yeah,
was
it's
no
not,
allegation
and I think
of
that's
violence.
good. I don't think that anybody should be able
So
to just
that's
walk
a lie.
down to the courthouse and go, "Hey, serve me up."
I'm gonna
Give
get a
me one of
beer. I have
these."
a question
think
when
you
I get
should
back.
have to prove stuff, and I had proof, and I
need to talk
testified.
to her, Your Honor. I need to sometimes. That'd be just rude. What's interesting about and I do want to get more into detail that
It's
what
about
led you there.
violence.
But
No,
when
it's
he
not.
says-
You fucking
so he's
liar.
violent to you,
Pause. Maybe
but he
use the best
says on
one.
shows.
What do you think?
you-
Pause or mute? What do you
Pause,
prefer?
I think. Pause, because like
Yeah, I'm
wanna
starting
hear
to think
everything.
pausing would be better.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I seem humorless on this or something, but it's just like, man,
No,
these
we
are
get it,
real-
man. It's personal shit.
He's
For
letting
sure.
she's letting him do all the lying for her at times. When he goes, "We're here because of violence," it's like she lets that go. We weren't there because of violence. There was no allegation of violence. There was no report of any violence. She didn't go down and like get.
Tuddle, what's your record against women?
15-0.
I'm 38-1 fighting women in boxing matches. Yeah, so yeah, 38-1.
38-1. Pat? What's your record against women?
I've never been convicted or accused.
Oh.
Boom.
No, Tuddle has literally. He's well known for
Tuddle sounded so
taking the ladies
disappointed.
on
Aw.
boxing. Right? He's literally 38-1 boxing women. That's not a joke.
I'll fight this chick for you, Pat.
That's okay.
He's the
but-
No,
anti-confident.
I'll fight her. Like, I mean, it's gonna be.
I mean,
sanctioned.
I would never want something like that to happen.
There
Well,
was
I
Wear
mean,
boxing gloves because
well,
you might break your fucking hand on that jaw, Tuddle.
But,
Yo, dude, look at that. She almost looks like she's ready to take a picture for a portrait, though. You can see that. It's like
Pat,
that looks like a
He's
portrait.
Definitely striking a pose. Yeah.
A Sears,
Pat,
a Sears
I knocked
portrait.
the woman out that had scoliosis.
Not everyone can say that, Tuddle.
Not
I do
How-
believe that's a fact.
How many punches, Tuddle?
Yeah, one. I folded her like a cheap lawn chair.
Did you fix her?
No, the back was still messed up. It was bad.
Oh,
right,
so
push
Pat,
play.
you're saying
Push
that
play
you're
on this
0-3?
Push play on this one.
No,
So
I think
Tim,
I'm okay with it.
Everything he says
All right.
literally is what he does, it seems. He was on
Yes. Thank you for
literally
saying this.
everything. He said he was on some show and someone he said that like oh, you didn't do anything, talking about you didn't what you do to her anything, and he's like, yeah, well, when she was sleeping I raped her, that's what I did. Now why
I
Well,
didn't.
it's called
would your
free
head
use.
go
You
there?
know,
Hey,
free use is
they
a
go
is a
there.
real
Did you
thing.
say
now.
pause?
He did tell me that in her sleep he fucked.
I mean, free use. I mean, there's a lot of relationships that are all about free use, where like the guy gets it anytime he wants, and vice versa. So, I think you're
Yeah.
good, Pat.
Well, that's one of the questions
No.
I had for you, Pat, because she keeps if everything she said about you is true, like you use drugs and cheated on her all the time, then why, if she went back to you 3 times after 3 breakups, isn't that her own fucking fault for being so so willing to go back with someone that
Actually,
she
you know what?
allegedly hates or whatever?
It's totally my fault for going back to her, because every time it would be this really bad shit she did, and nobody wants to talk about any of that with her. Of course, she's never clearing any of it up. She's got people, who are going to take her side. Obviously, if you want a fair and balanced view of Pat Dixon, go to Keith Malley. You know what I mean? Keith Malley, who has devoted whole shows to making false claims against me before to try to justify getting rid of me, because I was a popular guest on the show, and people were like, "Why are you fucking with him?" Well, here's why, and they lost a lot of listeners over it. He wouldn't acknowledge it, I'm sure, but he did. And it's the same way with her. Like, there's never been any instance of me doing some unforgivable, mean shit to her, any violent shit to her. It's not even like a, what do you call it? That's not even a fucking rumor with her, an accusation or anything. She's trying to let the rumor live without acknowledging the fact that, no, I never did anything like that. So, as far as going back to me over and over again, it's my fault. I should have known better.
How good was the sex, Pat? That
Well, what do you think?
Well, I mean, if you go back 3 times and you make the same mistake again, like, she must be doing some stuff that a woman's never ever done to you before. Like, if you're claiming it's your fault, I mean, it must have been great.
Well, you want to know the truth? I was in love with her. I mean, that's a fact. I was in love with her, and it just that for me, it's that I get in trouble with that way. You know what I mean? Like, I had a woman try to murder me once.
Oh, wow.
And I have been, yeah, she was
With
convicted.
what?
A
gun.
knife or a gun?
A gun.
Oh, okay.
And she was,
She
and
shot at you?
She took the gun out of her. She didn't get a chance to pull the trigger. I took it away from her. But she was convicted. Sentenced to 8 years house arrest.
Oh,
so being in love
Oh,
with
wow.
her, then I went back. That's the root
Yeah,
of
if a
my.
guy would have done that, he wouldn't have got no house arrest, right?
Nope.
Fuck. That's insane.
Oh shit! Is that why you dress like Dracula on streams?
Dracula, he looks like a businessman. Or he looks like a piano playing comic. He looks exactly like the part he's actually playing, which is succinct.
Plus, I ran through all the farm animals, man, and all the best ones were taken. You know,
I got to tell you, you smoked a cigarette cooler than anybody I've ever seen before. Like I've
That's
seen
a fact.
Lemmy
Thank you.
smoking. TJ smoke. I mean, Pat Dixon. Like, I mean, he just looks cool when he's smoking. I don't know.
Wait do you see me smoking through my trach hole in 25 years?
Okay, well, I mean,
Cool too. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
it's another hole. Do you know what I mean?
Can I address something really quick?
Yeah,
What?
sure.
Yep.
Gino in the chat says something about Sharon
no.
Tech. Hold on, Sharon Tech.
No, you can't do
we
the
can't do-
Gino.
I can't.
No,
I can't
same as last time. Same rules. No Gino.
All right, can I just make a general statement then? Can I make a general statement?
Not
I'm
after
going to
you
make a
addressed
general
it from Gino.
All right, I take all that back. Anywho, the general statement I'm going to make is a dude can be a piece of shit in a relationship, but what also can be true is the girl could be a total fucking cunt because she gives off cunt vibes. If I'm being honest, I want to like Felicia also, but she does give off like broken cunt vibes, and not like broken cunt like her pussy's bad, just like her heart and her like psyche and her fucking emotional state is that of a broken woman. Somebody fucked her up.
Not me.
I'd also like to issue.
No,
a PSA.
not you. You hold on. Hold on. Shut the fuck up, Granny. We were watching that
This
video
goes out
of you
to
telling
Dracula.
the road trips. Shut the fuck up, or I'm leaving. God damn. I was. You know what? Never mind.
Let's watch.
All right, let's hit play on this. Let's
without her
get
knowing.
back to that beautiful
Then
bean
woke up.
footage.
Just like he said, oh, one day she woke up and I was fucking her. Then goes, no, just kidding. Well, that did happen. That did happen to somebody. And then I heard you say it. Everything he says.
He's like
happened
running
to
through her
him.
head. Did I
He
say that?
did.
I can absolutely 100% back that up because everything he's saying about me is the shit that he did. And it's like, I can let it go. I can fucking let it go. But the order of protection happened. You still violated it during that. But with that photo I sent you. But in order to pursue that violation, I would have had to go back to Tennessee and show up in court, and it was too much trouble.
Sure.
So I didn't pursue it. And then, of course, it gets expired, and then he just keeps running his mouth. And I'm like, this motherfucker will not shut the fuck up.
Everybody
And
to believe this.
If this is what he's saying publicly on the air, I know he's saying so much worse behind the scenes.
It's
to
just a
people
straight up
that
lie.
I know. We both know.
What is he bringing up when he says you almost left him stranded in Pennsylvania, as if he's not a grown adult?
Of course
As if he's not a grown adult. Fuck
That's funny.
you.
This happened twice. And the first, I actually don't know the order, but one of those trips
Are you
was a
trying to
work
say
trip.
that like you
He
can't
was
be
booked
stranded?
in Indianapolis. He asked me to come and feature for him. He was using me for my car, which he makes obvious in the telling of the story.
Yes.
And then during that trip, he asks me to pay for the gas.
Okay.
And
I
I
didn't
paid for a
ask her
tank
to
of gas.
pay
By the way,
for the- wow, man.
$1,000 or more,
This
I
is
make
so
it
funny.
Yeah, so
I mean, like,
go
I'm
ahead
just
and
gonna
pause it.
laugh because I mean, and you can actually let it run. I've heard this story before. She told this on
I
her
actually
version
have.
of it. It's
Like,
so fucking
she's
funny.
been saying it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if you guys know where to get a rental car in the middle of the night in fucking nowhere, Pennsylvania or New Jersey or any other state. I don't know how to get a quick rental car in that situation. So like, I'll drop you at a hotel. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to drop it. Yeah. There's not an airport in every town. And besides that, like, how do I get to the fucking airport? Okay. Call a cab. I mean, like, this is a huge hassle. And so, yeah, as if he's not a grown adult. Fuck you. You walk home from Pennsylvania, motherfucker. I mean, give me a break. The part that Brennan wanted to focus on was like, oh, he asked you to pay for the gas like a fucking pimp and shit like that. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. I didn't want to get kicked out on the side of the road for no fucking reason whatsoever. And that's what you focus on. I said it under my breath, like, when are you gonna buy a fucking thing? She's like, what? And I'm like, Never mind, whatever. I'm already pumping the fucking gas. I didn't realistically say you pay. She just pay for the gas. Well, I mean, that's I guess literally true, but it certainly is misleading. I paid for all.
Yeah, and she's been waiting for her chance to come out and like the first time she came out and told some of this story, just a little bit of it, obviously on the show on Compound. And, it is kind of weird. I saw her on that show. I saw her explanation of everything. And then I could have reached out and had her on my show, but it was like, whatever. She's not all that great of a guest, and I'm not that into it. So I just passed on it back then. But yeah, the second that you weren't on Kevin Brennan's show, I love that he reaches out to you and had her on, or vice versa. She reached out and made sure she got on MLC. But
Yeah.
so she re-entered the world just to come trash you, not because you were saying stuff. Just like in your mind, that's how it went, right? Like she just
100%.
wanted to fucking get back at you, like
Look,
no
and
matter
it's not-
how.
It's not even in my mind. It's in reality, because there's no evidence of me saying anything about her anywhere. There just isn't. I mean, there's no. I mean, if I was trashing her, running my mouth, everybody would have known who the fuck she was. Nobody knew who the fuck she was when she came around. It had to be explained. Nobody knew. Look, I mean, I keep saying
don't
that.
start big dicking people like that, though. It's
The
kind
fir-
of a shit move.
What is?
Oh yeah. Nobody fucking knew who she was. I don't know who the fuck she is now.
Well, okay.
Are
But I
you
mean-
saying because she dated you, people knew who she was?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if I would have been running my mouth and trashing her for the last year, then people would have been like, "Oh yeah, Dixon's already told us about this bitch," and people were like, "Who is this? What? Oh, okay, And nobody was like aware of her of me doing this, because they can't be. There was. What I'm saying is, when you run your mouth about somebody all the time, it's recorded on a show, and there it is. Where is it?
Oh,
And
right.
somebody show me
Yeah,
anything.
okay.
On the internet.
Show it to me.
No shit. No
but
shit, Granny. No shit, Granny.
I
You're missing the point.
just want to
Did
bring
you-
up something. Like, how many followers does this dude have that
Not
is
many.
in the interview? Okay, so
He gets less than 1,000. I was checking out his view counts and
Okay.
stuff. Like he does not have much reach.
So
less than
then why
1,000.
why are we giving this asshole any attention? I'm just
Well, we're actually giving her the attention because we
Well,
want
I
to hear.
mean,
No, she went on MLC. This show that they're doing right now might actually get a lot of views because she went on MLC and said, "I got receipts, videos, I got pictures, I got DMs." Like she allegedly. We'll see if she actually ever gets to anything specific. I'm curious if she just glosses over anything specific and doesn't actually have anything to show us. We'll get there. We'll catch up with what they're doing. I am curious. I want to bomb through some super chats real quick, if you guys don't mind. Then we'll get back to the video.
Yeah.
Slapjaw Timothy Smallwood, $2. Thank you, sir. PSA for Tuddle and Pat. Granny scissors daily. This is true.
True.
It's not true.
Flat Cat Jessica, $2. Pat is a great get for the show. Happy Friday. Yes, absolutely. We always appreciate Pat. He's a good get. That is a fact. The Legend, $5. Thanks, Legend. Great having you on Ray's show last night. That was a good time. Pat, what's up? Hey, Hey, Pat. Did you ever date a girl named Felicia? I think I've heard of you. I think I heard you did like 125 bazillion times. How many times is that, Mrs. Producer?
700 billion and 1,300,000,000,000.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, yeah, she has been talking about it an awful lot.
Yeah, she can't stop. The Legend. He sent us $2 more just to fix his Pat. It's not pay, it's Pat. I got it. We could usually decipher or translate your guys' super chats for the most part.
Thanks for the
My lost interest, $2. Thank you, sir. These allegations make me like Pat more. Yeah, especially the part where you taking all these ladies to Pound Town. Very impressive stuff.
Pound Town.
Yeah, isn't that where you live? Pound Town, Tennessee, or something like that?
I take women there. Pound Town. Poundton, we call it.
Good. Granny's been to a bunch of motel rooms in Pound Town. He usually sits in the chair in the corner, though, unfortunately.
Oh,
Super happy
just-
fun
I'm
chatter,
just-
$2. Sorry, buddy.
Just proud
Threw you
of
under
Pat
the chair.
for a stroke victim. You know what I mean? That he gets to take all these ladies to Pound Town.
I'm a stroke victim.
Yeah, stroke victim. Wow, that's quite an
I've been-
allegation.
And
there,
I've
Granny.
been stroked a lot, but I wouldn't call myself a victim.
Well, you look like the fucking announcer from the WWF a little bit. You got the eyes, the mouth.
Granny, I thought we was friends.
We
Granny
are.
looks like a lesbian who works at the fucking Crisco factory. So I wouldn't
That's
be
fair.
talking too loud, buddy.
He
That
looks
is
like he's
fair.
transitioning into something. We just haven't figured out what it is.
When did Keith turn
Pat,
into
you
Bobby
can't sit
Kelly?
here and say that you don't look like you've had a stroke.
Well, I think that's
I had no
correct.
intention of sitting here and saying that. You're right.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Appreciate it.
Okay, super happy fun chatter, $2. When did Keith turn into Bobby Kelly? Blobby Kelly. Yeah, he looks quite a bit bigger than he used to. Huh? Maybe he needs that same surgery that Zenhauser and Bobby Kelly got. What did they do? That gastric bypass thing.
I don't know. Keith has always had a big, fat, stupid head, though.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid head. The legend, $10. Thank you, legend. Pat with friends like KB, who needs enemies? Indeed, KB's man card is revoked along with that butt pirate Granny. I know a guy who went to high school with Granny. His nickname was Birdwatcher. Granny, is this true?
No, it's not true.
Bird
But thanks to legend. He inserted himself.
President of the Audubon Society, Granny.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
fuck's
well known in
sake.
Florida for all the alligator rapes. He's well known. He's been caught on video doing such.
That's a man for you.
That's a Florida
It
thing.
is. You ever fucked a
Steve
gator?
C,
Pinkest hair in the game.
Steve C, $5. Pat, can you admit that you have a past reputation with women? Ray DeVito was right. Pat has a past. That's
Well,
right.
there's a
You
difference.
remember
There's
when?
a difference in a past and a reputation, right? I do. I mean, everybody has a past because we're all living in the current time. But as far as my reputation goes, it's only the people saying shit like this that makes me have a reputation. And that, like, look, I mean, people can judge for themselves, man. But like, I definitely intend to at least, never mind. Whatever. Yeah, I guess I can admit it.
I gotta step in here. Stop being a pussy, please.
Okay.
I mean, you guys, this sounds like a fucking episode of the goddamn motherfucking View right now. Like, I have never been as uncomfortable as I am right now in my whole
With your
entire
sexuality?
life. Well, no, not that. It's just this is just bad all around. I mean, I love Lemmy and I love TJ, but like this fucking sucks, guys. I'm just
which
being
part?
fucking honest.
Which part?
This whole fucking show has been lame as fuck the whole time. It is. We're
Tuddle.
listening
He's
to-
never struck.
we're
He has
listening
never
to
struck a
guy.
woman.
This is no. I'm just like I can't do this. Like everybody's talking over each other. The audio. I mean, like nobody could hear any comments that we are saying. Lemmy can't get a word in. Nobody can get a word in on the whole motherfucking show. And it's just like I don't need this right now. So I appreciate you guys having me on and stuff, but like I hope you guys have a great night.
I love the speech.
Damn.
Yeah,
Love the speech.
exactly.
Yeah, you could have just left.
No.
love
No, he had to tell us this is the worst thing he's ever been part of. And I'm
too
cool.
bad,
And that was very cute. I like
Very
it.
good.
It's a
I
charmed
love
life
it.
right there. If this is the worst thing.
Karmic, $5. Felicia said yesterday, if Pat would have her back, she'd go back. That's all you need to know about this lady. Yeah, that does kind of say a lot, honestly.
I agree.
And I was trying to defend fucking Pat in there. He's never hit a woman with a closed hand.
I've never hit a woman with a hand.
What? Okay.
Your foot.
All right.
Kick them. I
I
kick the hell out of them. Don't get me wrong. I roundhouse and all kinds of shit, but never.
What about the stairs? The
Occasional
stairwell.
headbutt, tripping.
That's always the
fine.
best move.
No
Tripping,
hit.
yes.
Tripping.
Slight
is fine.
strangling. Most of them like that during sex anyway, so fuck it. Go for it.
If you go Sean Connery and you never hit him with a closed hand, I'm okay.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I had.
Listen, Barbara. Yeah, exactly. The legend, $5. I once stalked a girl and I filled an order of protection against her for me stalking her. I taught her ass. That's right, legend. That's what a legend would do, too, indeed. 100%.
Nice.
A legend would teach a lady a lesson. Good man. Steve C. Pat divorced 3 times. Multiple ex-girlfriends all claim he's the problem. Pat has a bad reputation with the ladies. Ray DeVito was right.
Look, you got to
You
go.
sound like
some-
Ray DeVito, Steve C. Damn.
You got to go through some of these women. I mean, like, first of all, being divorced 3 times. What does that have to do with anything? That's the remedy for a bad marriage. I'm 53. 3 divorces. That's what, 1 marriage per decade, of adult life. Sorry, you don't approve of that, but I mean, I'm not going to stay with women that I don't want to be with, and vice versa. They didn't want to be with me anymore either. My first wife left me, and it was pre-internet, so of course there's no bullshit about that. But what ex-girlfriends? I mean, I dated Carmen Lynch. Chrissy Mayer says I spanked her one time too hard. Oof. That was an embarrassing claim right there.
That's hot. I mean, that's horrible.
I spanked her, and then that's like, oh, that counts. He hit her. I mean, give me a break, and they all claim. Of course, they claim I'm the problem. Why wouldn't they? Ray Pat has a bad reputation with the ladies.
Ray DeVito. I think he's stuck on the Ray DeVito was right part. I think that's the part he's really stuck on, was that Ray cussed you out, and then he got that whole jab in. You remember?
See, he didn't say that I had a bad reputation. Ray said that I had a bad past, and a past is like a real thing. Like I did, that's like saying, oh, there's stuff in his past with women. What, Ray? What? He couldn't name anything. There wasn't anything. That's the same reason Keith can't name anything. It's the same reason Steve C can't name anything. It's easy to just say that about somebody, right? It's very easy. But like, if you start going to, oh, you have to actually substantiate something, then, oh, that's a different story. So thanks for the $5.
Super happy fun chatter, $5. At least Beth Sterling lied about being abused to get out of doing Z-grade podcasts like Keith and the Girl. Imagine this is a career highlight. Yeah, do you think Felicia's going to put this on her IMDb when it's all said and done?
I don't know, man. I mean, like, I guess we'll. I don't think. I mean, Beth Stelling did get a lot out of it. Like, she was concerned that the guy was going to like ruin her name in comedy and all that shit. That's what these ladies say. I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid of the retribution and the backlash. I was like, when have we ever heard of backlash against a woman making a claim against a man? I've never heard that. Everybody wants to rush to her support. And everybody wants to say, look, we believe all women and all that crap. So, like, really, I mean, when you look at her, like, Google mentions or whatever, there's a chart you can find. Her name's not mentioned. And then as soon as that she put the allegations out there, it just goes straight up like a rocket. So, yeah, it helped her career enormously. She started becoming a writer and stuff. And I take no stand on the Beth Stelling thing. But it did help her a lot.
Yeah, it never seems to help guys out though, or else I would have made an allegation by now. Definitely.
I mean,
but
it's
yeah,
just the
when
truth.
guys
She jumped on
when
my
guys
throat.
come out, everybody just says, "Shut the hell up! What's your problem? You got
Yeah,
touched?
yeah.
You're gay." They
Totally.
say that shit.
Yeah, we don't really get the same benefit of the doubt.
Not nearly. Beloved chatter, $1.99. Pat, just admit you never liked me. I need closure.
I just can't do it, man. It's gonna have to remain open. Thanks, beloved chatter. Yeah, that was one thing
Beloved chatter.
all
He's
she wanted
always
me
succinct.
to do. Yeah, it's perfect too, because that's what she was saying. Just say you never loved me and this will all be fine. It's like, no, it won't. But should we go back to the show? I don't want to miss
Yeah,
it.
I will. Yeah, no, I got
Yeah,
two more super
I know-
chats and we'll move
I know
on.
these are important and everything. Of course.
Yeah.
Call it
No,
a
I
session,
didn't
Pat.
want to get like 50 of them and half of them were questions for you and then you're gone and then I'm like,
Totally.
all right, sorry that I didn't get any questions answered at all. I hate when that happens.
I wonder what.
Welcome, Pat.
I wonder what Dudley would think about all this.
Yeah, I know it is kind of weird. The super chat thing is kind of a trip, just like people chiming in from the.
I love it.
Whatever, it's part of the deal. Yeah. Steve Seed, $2. Granny would definitely scissor Pat.
I'm not
I don't
fucking
think Pat
scissoring
would accept the scissoring. I think Pat might try to fight you off.
That was like an eerily realistic Photoshop, though. I love
Yes.
I'll beat your ass in pool, but I'm not gonna scissor you. I don't want to go sack to sack with you, Pat. Sorry, bro.
It's okay.
Not until you get to know him a little better, at least, right? Like buy him a drink first. It'll be a gentleman
think we
about
get
it, right?
tangled up.
Granny?
We get tangled up. What's your nut sack situation looking like, Pat? You groomed?
Oh Lord.
It doesn't matter because you know what? I think I haven't turned my magic on you yet. You know that makes all these women fall in love with me and take all kinds of abuse.
I punch back, Pat.
Allegedly. Not with the Gators, though. For some reason, you're oddly attracted to them much more. Ozone, $20. Thank you, Ozone. This might be my favorite Dabbleverse show ever. Yeah, that's right, Tuddle. Go fuck yourself. This is the best thing that ever happened. Take that.
I just say this show is terrible.
Yeah, you should do it in a man's voice next time, though. Just FYI. All right, let's hit play on this son of a gun.
And we're
Let's
using
hear
my
what
car. So the industry standard is
Okay,
the
can we
headliner
get
pays for
the
the fucking
industry-
gas and
the
tolls.
The industry.
Wow.
Hold on
So-
a second. What's the industry standard? Are we talking about me being a shithead comedian, or are we talking about me being some kind like a bad, abusive, cheating boyfriend? I mean, which one is it? The industry standard? I mean, like, did we have an industry standard situation there? Were we headliner and middle, or were we what? If I would have done that to a middle act, I can imagine them coming on and going on every show they can to go, Pat Dixon is not down with paying for enough gas. This is a problem. You know, I mean, is this really part of the thing? This is like they start talking about like all this abuse, all this violence. There's all this these issues. You know, he's a rapist. Tell me about this gas thing. I mean, if you got to bring up not paying for gas, maybe you got a pretty thin case.
Yeah, that's pretty minimal on the list of shit to have problems with. Someone you're in a relationship with, it's like the bottom of the barrel,
And
the
I
oil
wasn't-
barrel in this case.
And it wasn't even that I was like unwilling to pay. It was that I mentioned it. And then she's like, I'm going to leave him on the side of the fucking road. I mean,
Well, she was trying to say that yesterday. She was trying to say that she bought all the gas. It was her car. She drove to Indianapolis and every other fucking place that you guys did comedy at. And it was like all on her the entire time. And that you made great headliner money. She made middle money and you kept your money and she had to spend all her money on all your guys' stuff. That's the way she's trying to spin it.
No, I was frequently billed for gas and tolls. You know, I mean, she kept up with it to the penny. I mean, this is a girl who didn't want me eating any of the Pop-Tarts that she didn't really care for, you know. I mean, it's just such a joke. She's a and I wouldn't say this about just everybody, you know, a miserly person. And I don't mind whatever. I'll pay my share. But, you know, don't go claiming later that I didn't. That's outlandish.
I don't think Gillespie's a Shuley type name, is it?
No.
Lemmy, sorry, I cut you off.
I said maybe she's autistic.
Oh, okay, autistic. Do you think she might have had some issues like that? Like I always assumed she might have a little bit of bipolar in her, something like that.
I don't know. She told me she thought she might be autistic, and that she had a very good friend of many years who thought she might be a little autistic. But I mean, it was fine with me. You know, I didn't mind. You know, it's just the way she would turn it as far as accusations and stuff like that goes. I mean, she accused me all the time, of all kinds of shit. I was always trying to communicate with women in her mind. I'd like, here's my phone, here's my fucking, you know. I love dates while I was guns.
What I don't know. I
just
say earlier.
Not trying to distract.
What I was trying to say earlier before Granny rudely interrupted was I was telling them that I used to be kind of that toxic bitch who wasn't able to keep the intrusive thoughts from coming out. Like, did you fuck her? If like you talk to anybody, you know what I mean? And it wasn't until like Granny sat me down one day and was like, I love you, dude. That shit hurts my feelings. Like you can't disrespect me like that and think it doesn't, you know, like your past shit, that's his fault. That's not my fault. And like, you are spitting vitriol at somebody who genuinely cares for you. And I was like, oh shit. And like, from then on, I made a cognitive effort to not let those intrusive, I would breathe and be like, shut the fuck up, bad boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let me
try to make a real effort.
You have a sane streak, it sounds like, you know, because like I gave that same speech to Felicia 100 times. And it never, and in her mind, the voice was still there the whole time. I guess it was a little stronger than in your case, but the voice in her head's like, he's lying, he's a liar, you know, and that was it. And I mean, she's too far gone with it because she's, that meant nothing to her. That's just another instance of me like laying it on thick in her mind.
All right, hit that play button.
I didn't know there was an industry standard. Okay.
That's how I've always done it, and I've been on the road for over 15 years, and so
is that true?
I did pay for a tank of gas, and now I'm down to making $2.80. Okay, and then on the way back home,
this is nonsense.
He just goes,
go forward a little bit.
Are you gonna fucking pay for any of the gas? He refused. He refused to leave. He refused to get out of the car.
Of course, I refused to get out of the car.
That was
in the middle of nowhere. You didn't want to get Munson in the middle of DeVito. I mean, you didn't want to get DeVito in the middle of nowhere.
And she loses her shit and wants to abandon me in the middle of nowhere. That's his version of the story.
That is what happened, as you described it.
Did anything happen?
Didn't you get her that gig?
When he said one time,
yes,
you weren't going to let him in the
I
car.
think then I think driving you there like cancels each favor out, dude. And like y'all both should have split gas. I feel like that would have been fair.
Yeah, I would. I mean, it makes sense to me, you know. I mean, she was like, she didn't even hear at first. She was like, and I don't know if this was this trip. It probably wasn't. There was another trip we took to the same place. She wanted me to rent a car because she didn't want to have the wear and tear on her vehicle. So she wanted me to come out of pocket for like a multi-day rental of a car so she wouldn't have wear and tear on her fucking car. I mean, like, to me, that's. And I saw
you mainly just didn't own a car because you lived in New York City at the time, right? Like nobody in New York has a fucking car from.
Yeah, I lived in Manhattan for 16 years leading up to that. And then, you know, obviously when I leave, I'm not driving out of there, you know. This was only like right after I left New York anyway. I mean, like there was no chance of me buying a car right there. Yeah, nobody has a car there.
So you pretty much just flew everywhere?
Yeah, or I wrote, you know, I did a lot of local stuff with trains and stuff like that, but then I would be I would fly or, or whatever, however I needed to get there, I would get there.
All right, hit that play button.
Let's see it.
I saw that and I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I even tried to remember that. I was like,
Right.
did that happen? Which was like a lot of that during the course of our relationship, where he would literally change the history of what happened 5 minutes after it happened, and I'd be like, no, I was right here. That didn't happen. What the fuck are you talking about? So
Right.
that story, I'm like
Right.
literally going, wait, did that? He's still gaslighting me, Keith.
What?
So the order of protection that came from a violent episode. How violent?
It did.
Uh,
See, he
it came
told her
from
a violent.
It actually was over the course of months. It was a recurring pattern, and I never called the police during any of these times. He never beat the shit out of me. He never left marks on me, but he physically threatened me a bunch of times. And one of the worst times was he pinned me up against a wall and raised his fist, drew his fist back and raised his fist, and went to, I thought he was going to punch me in the face. He was in that position to punch me in the face.
Did he ever punch you in the face?
No.
Did he ever punch
No.
you in the head?
They punched me in the back of the head one time during that same series of events, because I've done some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and the thing that they teach you there is to stay calm. And I've never been in a situation like this. I've never been in a situation where somebody was being violent like this, and they were in
Being
this red zone.
violent. Okay.
But
All
I
right.
instinctively knew not to do it. I was not going to.
Well, this is a whole new.
because
This is
I-
a
I'll
whole
tell you
new
what,
world
this is-
right here.
These guys are lucky that women.
Yeah, I don't remember ever saying you punched her
But I had
before.
to
Now
ask
she
you
said you
again if
punched
you
her in
got
the back
punched
of
in
the
the
head.
head.
This is a new one on me.
Yeah, it seems like that would have been an overriding concern. She must be like, okay, people aren't buying this shit, so
Up her game, up her lie game.
And she knows that
Possibly.
Keith is going to be this receptive, and you know what? She did mention something about it in court, although she said that I hit her in the back of the head 3 times. And she said that now people have to understand what this court thing was. This wasn't me being arrested and going to court. This was no criminal thing. This was no civil thing exactly. What it was she called the police because she was mad about something I said. I called her a fucking slut, and then I went to the shower. And when I got out of the shower, police were outside talking to her, right? And so she doesn't make any allegation of any violence at that time. She doesn't say anything about, I think she said something about me getting in her face. It's like, getting in your face. I wasn't even near her. So I guess if she's going to say like, oh, this was for the last several months. Okay, well, that's one way to get around it, but it's not like it's not. Why would you? There's no reason for her to be calling the police. I would have loved if she would have packed up and driven away. I would have loved it. I begged her to. I couldn't do it because I didn't have a fucking car. You just go. This was all surrounding a breakup sort of negotiation anyway, basically. And I called her a fucking slut, and then I went to the shower, and I had a reason to call her that. And
the reason is I would be remiss if I didn't follow up on that statement.
Well, it was because her positions about me and the kind of guy that I was began to be constantly negative after a while. And she was basically repeating what she was hearing on In Hot Water. And it was crazy to me. That's fucking, I'm like, why do I want to have In Hot Water playing constantly at home? But it was just aligned. So, and it wasn't starting with her. It was starting, up in New York. And then she listens to that and then repeats it around. And so finally I'm like, fuck this. She calls the police. And like I said, they automatically, there's some kind of an order that goes into place. Right. And I had to appear in court to I didn't know what was going to happen. So I got an attorney. and do this, and I show up in court, and she makes that claim. The judge doesn't believe it. The judge isn't moved by it. The judge crosses out the word abuse as a factor, which I can show you. It's right there. Abuse, no. So
Right.
She
No,
had,
and I thought she even had mentioned it, like the whole thing with the assault when there was no assault. Like she had, I believe, had said that at some point. Like I've been listening to a lot of shit she's been spewing, so I've been paying close attention, and I've gone back and watched like the old In Hot Water clip when she was on, and I've watched whatever, not the one the day the punch happened, but she went back, you know what I mean, and did another one after that.
Yeah.
So whatever, I'm pretty up to speed on that stuff, and as far as I can tell, she didn't never.
It's like a doll's eyes. You don't think they're really living till they bite into you.
Okay.
Also, I agree with Tuddle. This shit is faggotry. I don't give a fuck, dude. This is a middle school relationship. Learn how to fucking do a relationship, motherfucker. I'm with Tuddle. I'm fucking out of here.
Thanks for the announcement. We appreciate it. Yeah. So the reason anyone cares is because she's in the middle of the Dabbleverse now, and she's trying to convince everyone that you're this horrible guy. So that's where we're at. And we do keep up with Dabbleverse stuff, so that's why it's relevant to me. That's why I care.
It's just a show, you know what I mean? It's just a fucking show.
Yeah, these people do not get it. It's content, folks. Constantly making whatever the fuck. I can't even say it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's keep this playing.
The word face.
Right.
Yeah, you got punched in the fucking head. Then
I
he's
got
throwing
punched
you
in the
against
back
the
of the
wall, acting like he's gonna punch you. in the face.
Allegedly.
It was on
At
the
least
floor,
say that.
the
This
wall,
fucking
and
Keith
in the
guy,
bed.
he just likes to run with
I
it, doesn't
went
he?
with
Oh yeah.
what was happening.
He loves
like,
this.
I was physically
Loves it.
allowing him to do this because I knew if I put up any resistance, it was like this instinct where I don't know what he's gonna do. And I feel like he wants me to do something.
This woman
that would
weighs
justify
200
him
pounds,
hitting me.
by the way.
Right.
So I did nothing.
What?
And
She is so
how tall is she?
Like 5'6", I believe. Might be 5'9".
Just stout.
Extremely high density. And the reason I say that is not like, oh, she's tough enough to defend herself. What I'm saying is she never, ever, for one moment, had any physical fear of me. Ever. Remember one time we got into some dispute because I walked ahead of her 15 feet on the way as we walk back someplace. I'm like, catch up then. And she's like, no, you stop for me. And I didn't. And she was so torn up about this. And she started yelling at the top of her lungs. I'm like, and we'd had a noise complaint before. So I'm like, just stop yelling, because I was ignoring her. And she's like, no, I want to be heard, like that. That's, I swear to God, bellowed it. No, I want to be heard. I mean, she was not ever physically afraid of me. That's ridiculous. And she knows that this is what sells, though. So that's what she's doing. And it's so messed up, man. Because, I mean, like, she's selling a few claims. One that I've been talking about her nonstop. Show me. Where? That I'm physically abusive. You took it to court. You mentioned it. You didn't say anything about that to the cops or anything. So I wasn't, like, arrested. There was nothing like that. Nothing like that. It was just her saying things, being unable to substantiate it, and having a judge disbelieve it, and then do a 3-month order of protection just as a token thing because, he did sound angry when you recorded him. Okay. I mean, like I said, she needs everybody to think I've been talking about her nonstop. Otherwise, this looks like exactly what it is. Her waiting for an opportunity. She's like, I haven't said anything about him in all this time since March 26th or whatever, until March 26th when I was right here on MLC. Yeah, I waited until I could get on the biggest platform that I could, and you were kicked off of it, and say it there. Nobody would listen to any of this shit otherwise. It's nonsense.
100%. 100%. Like I said, I already saw her interview on fucking In Hot Water. I was unimpressed, didn't give a shit about any of it. She substantiated everything that he wanted her to on the show. And I mean, she's a woman scorned, and like, as we all know, and I don't even know, like, I don't particularly know you, Pat. I watch a lot of your stuff. Doesn't mean I know you personally, but
Sure.
you know, I get the feeling that she's absolutely 100% just a woman scorned. And I can see through a lot of the bullshit she does, because I've had ladies just exactly like her. Very you know, like a bunch of the stuff on your phone, or wanted to, you know, like seeing stuff on your phone or accusing you of being cheating constantly. Like, I've had those ladies before, so I've seen it in real life play out. And yeah, like, I couldn't make a move or do anything without being suspected of like all this nonsense.
Yeah,
I've been there, done that. I get it.
And it's frustrating too, because, you know, like, even when you probably proved your innocence, which is a hard thing to prove, over and over again, you've been wrong literally 100 times in a row. And now you're saying this again. And it doesn't matter. You know, none of that counts. You know, it's like, she can't look, when you don't cheat on somebody, you can't prove that they cheated on you. You just can't. So any proof about that, please. And it's the same way with a punch in the back of the fucking head. Prove it.
Yeah.
This is all Corey Adams' fault. I just want to remind everybody.
Corey Adams, you son of a bitch.
Bones. This is Corey Adams' fault.
You got Corey Adams on your radar there, Pat? Do you know who that is?
Yeah,
okay.
I know who he is, but I don't have. How does he have anything to do with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, he was on Steel Toe. He knew MLC, but he's been down in Austin doing comedy with Felicia, and they just happened to bump into each other at an optimal time when you were going off of MLC, and I think he steered her towards MLC, and he hooked her up with Kevin, and that's how it all came to be.
I mean, like, you know, Kevin was going to put her on with her being a fucking you know, an ex of mine or whatever. I introduced her to Kevin, actually. I encouraged her to go on there. She's like, no, I don't want to go on there through you. Like, what? You know, I mean, like, she's very, very protective of her reputation, and she'll say anything to, like, keep from looking like how she looks, you know? I mean, like, there's so many holes and errors and everything, but people don't really watch that closely. That's what I get fucking irritated about. When you hear or see smoke or smell smoke, you go, oh, that's the fire. That's him. It's obvious, you know? And look, I know I don't make the most defendable people. I mean, I look like a fucking, I look like everything she's saying. I sound like everything she's saying. I get it. You know, I'm a curmudgeonly old fucking mean guy, but I was 100% true blue with her. And, you know, this other stuff, he's trying to really fan this whole violence thing, because he knows it's the most damning. And she's doing her best to go along with it, but
well, we got the punch to the back of the head now, so that's where we're at with this fucking story.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
So during the last one, I just started screaming, and he put his fingers in my mouth, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" I think he's trying to get me to bite him, like anything he could use. Yeah, dude, it's hard to talk about. I testified to this in court. It's true. Of course, he denied it in court. He told his lawyer and he told the judge that I had multiple personality disorder. That was his defense.
I didn't say that.
So
that's a lie.
Yeah, this stuff happened.
Well, let me tell you about.
Did you have to testify in court?
All of.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah,
I did testify in court, and I never said that. I never said she had multiple personality disorder. There's a lot of questions as to whether or not that actually exists. You know that? I mean, that's not even like a universally
proven
accepted
fact by psychologists.
Yeah. I mean, multiple personality disorder. Now, she may have narcissistic personality disorder, or she may have borderline personality disorder. Maybe. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I haven't made any diagnoses like that publicly or anything ever. I've never even said she was crazy or nuts. I mean, you know, that show me where I have said that, you know, in any connection with Felicia Gillespie. With her name, especially. I might have referred to having had crazy exes, but, you know, I had an ex try to murder me. So, I mean, like, I think I'm walking on firm ground there.
Yeah, you got at least one. All right. Go ahead and hit it.
Them hate him. All the person.
I didn't call the police when this happened.
Okay.
Because during that time when that was happening, it's probably like, it's hard to tell, but probably 1 or 1.5 minutes long of that. And during that time, he also shoved me in the chest hard. So when it was all over and he left the room, I went to the
would
bathroom
shove me
and looked to see if there were any marks, because I was like, I should call the police.
Right.
And I'm like, they're not going to believe me because there's no marks. And what am I going to say? He didn't hit me. You know, and there's no mark in the back of my head. So nothing's gonna happen.
Wait a minute.
So,
Let's stop it there. He didn't hit me, but he did hit me in the back of the head. Wait a minute. Well, that seems confusing because you're saying two things. She just said he didn't hit me. And then I think she caught herself. That's weird. I don't know. Whatever. You caught that?
Yeah. I don't know if she's talking about, because she's trying to make it up like this is this ongoing, you know, months long thing, I think. So, I mean, I don't know what she's talking about exactly.
Go ahead.
But she did say he didn't hit me.
Right.
We're in a lease, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I ask him to leave, he says no. And you in order to leave, you have to sign a roommate, some kind of piece of paper that absolves you from paying half the rent. He refused to sign it to let me go, and then he refused to leave the place. And I thought he should have left because his aunt lived 5 minutes down the road. He had family in town. My family's in Pennsylvania. We're in Tennessee.
Okay, pause it.
Also,
now listen to what she's saying. I refused to let her go by sign, that I wouldn't sign the thing. I would have loved it had she gone. Would have loved it. And so if you're afraid of a guy, right? Let's say you're like really intimidated and afraid of this physically violent guy. Do you give a fuck about a lease? I mean, get out. You know, isn't that what they say? Get the fuck out. So that's one thing. Another thing, yeah, he had family nearby, so I thought he should leave. And I'll stay in Tennessee near him and his family. My family's in Pennsylvania.
Right. That doesn't make much sense. Was she already trying to do like comedy? Like where you guys aren't close to comedy and shit, right? There would be no reason to tie her there.
No. There's no big huge, you know, comedy scene. There's a club in Chattanooga, you know, but I mean, there's not like, no. She had no reason to be there, and she didn't like it there, and she made that known over and over again. She complained about being in Tennessee, in Chattanooga in particular, and wanted to go. I'm like, go. I mean, I'll figure it out, you know, but just go. I think that maybe that might have been part of this whole thing too, was she didn't know how to get out of the lease. I mean, come on. If you're afraid of somebody, you're going to be like, well, he's going to hold me responsible for this lease. So I better hang around risking my physical well-being with this guy who scares me to death.
Yeah, because she won't give up on the lease. Right. That doesn't make any sense.
She wanted me to leave and be in like a relative's home so she could go and say, he's living with, you know, I mean, she had already planned on pulling the chute on this whole thing months before all of this. She was in bad faith, continuing it, trying to get evidence, trying to get anything that she could take back to New York. I mean, to do this kind of shit. So, I mean, like,
for the sole purpose of going back and trashing you in New York.
to have the goods so that I couldn't say anything about her is what I used to think. But now it seems as if like that's, you know, not enough. I mean, like that wasn't because I didn't say anything about her. You know what I mean? So she had no reason to really uncan all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So what she was saying the most recent time I heard her talking about this, I think it was literally yesterday, but she was saying that you were going around New York City and bad mouthing her to like anyone that you knew in the comedy scene to like get her excommunicated out of the comedy scene so that she couldn't get jobs or do anything in New York City.
That makes a lot of sense considering when after we broke up, the only thing I was in New York City for was court. Period. And I would go to court and leave. I haven't spent the night or gone to a club in New York City since I left New York City.
Since the punch, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we were together like right after that, pretty much. We left in like the end of July. You know? So like when would this have happened? You know, I haven't been there. She was with me, and then so she was with me the whole time that we were in and checking my phone and checking my AT&T, right? So she knows why would I say anything when we were together, you know? And then we broke up. How am I going around New York City? I haven't even been there except for fucking court. What it's just like on the face of it, it's a fucking ridiculous lie.
That's why I brought it up. It doesn't track. It doesn't sound right when you say like, what are you doing? You're sitting down there in Chattanooga, calling all your buddies that you do comedy with, or had done comedy with, and hey, you know about this Felicia chick, right? Like, did you call everyone? Put out the alert. Put out the bat signal, anti-Felicia bat signal.
The people that you tell about shit like this are the people that are already with you anyway. You think, you know what I mean? So. I said something to Kevin Brennan about it, you know, about her being, this whether the shit she's saying isn't real. She's claiming this, she's claiming that, you know. I'm just letting him know. And then, like, I don't know. That
worked out well in the end, didn't it?
Sure did. Sure did. Yeah.
Bitch.
I mean, I can't win, you know. But like I again, you know, there's 16 years in New York. He's an experience. He's got, you know, so he's got all these connections and stuff. It really hurts me coming to New York. How? I haven't been there. Once you leave New York, by the way, you don't exist anymore. You know that. I mean, like you leave New York City, you're done as far as New York goes. They don't give a fuck what you're doing. Any of them.
Yeah, if they don't see you in person on the regular, then you're not part of the scene. That's that. If you're not sitting in every club every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or beyond.
That's where they talk about comedians trying to go get FaceTime and shit like that. Like, I'm going to go to the club just to like get FaceTime with hang out. You know, like younger comedians would say shit like that. And like, and you want to be working at a place, you go there, you show up and all that kind of stuff. And if you do work there, you're there for your shows. I wasn't. And once you're out of that loop, I almost didn't work in New York City after COVID, you know, pretty much once that happened. I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is I don't have the, I don't have any sort of pull in New York City anyway. I don't think that there is one booker or owner or anything there that if I went and begged them not to use somebody, that they wouldn't just go, we think she's funny. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. And anyway, besides all that, the only time I was in New York was to go to fucking court. I don't think they give a shit in criminal court, you know, over that other case. Has nothing to do with her. They don't give a shit. I'm not going to badmouth her.
Not so much.
Come on.
Yeah, so what like Kevin says is probably the reality and the truth, right? Availability. That's what they're looking for. Are you available? Availability. Will they see you on a regular basis, see your face, the bookers, the whoever's running the shows? If they see you, you're sitting there, you'll get a fucking shot, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not if you they know I'm not gonna show up for my $25 Tuesday night spot. You know what I mean? They're pretty aware that there's I mean, nobody in New York thinks about me at all, ever.
Well, there's
except maybe one guy.
One guy. Yeah. Fair enough. Oh, all right. Go ahead. Hit that play button.
I don't want to leave because he was damaging my property also, and I didn't realize that was happening until
Damaging my property.
months went by. And so I was like, it was
Do
all
you know what
coming
she's referring to?
at once.
Yes,
And I'm like,
yes. She brought it to court. She said that I vandalized her car. Now, she brought pictures into court of like stuff on the bumper. It's not in any particular. It just looks like, yeah, you have a car that's several years old. You've been driving it as a delivery vehicle, and you have normal wear and tear on it. That's why she says he damaged my property, rather than saying he flecked off tiny pieces of paint around the bumper and the rims of the what do you call it, the tire, the wheel well or something like that. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, none of it was anything, but she brought these pictures of it into court and was and like printed them up. These pictures of, like, I mean, the most typical. This is where everybody in the court started looking at each other like, is this real? I mean, it was fucking ridiculous. Damaged my property. She also claimed that I damaged some old, like, I don't know, one of these sheet metal type signs, and it was like, what do you call it, Charlie Chaplin or something like that. She's like, that I just scratched it up. And we had just brought it down. It had been in a box with other framed stuff and whatever. And I don't know what the fuck happened to it, but I mean, like, that doesn't put it on me. You weren't careful with your shit, I guess. Why would I mean, the idea that's where I'm at. I'm into, like, fucking scratching up her stuff and, like, flecking paint off her fucking car. I mean, like, the photos.
I'm going to be honest. Listen, this is the pettiest shit I've ever heard in my life. And, like, on both of your parts.
How is it petty on
my the part? Most.
Oh, man.
Just
it's
little
fucking
examples.
Part 3.
Just little examples, like you not slowing down for her and shit like that. You know what I mean? She's got issues. You can concede a little bit. You can make compromises. You seem like the type to have kind of took a chance to exacerbate a situation other than, like, try to diffuse it. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, let me respond. The reason that she was behind is because we were walking back from a store. We've been having a pretty involved conversation about some stuff. And then, she and I'm sure you've been in relationships where you fought a lot. We fought a lot, and we fought a lot about nothing. I agree. I should have never responded to any of it, but it wasn't to be petty. It was just to say, what is this? What are you even talking about? And then, like, when she said a certain thing that made me just walk off. And what she said was, you can't even have a conversation. And I'm like, fuck. And so I just walked away, and she stood there watching me walk away. Right. And, there was anger there. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could have, like, said, hey, sure, let me wait up for you. She was pretending to be afraid of I mean, there's this big wide sidewalk. There's no cars around. It's fine. And at some point, you just have to stop living in that reality and just go, look, if you're so afraid, step 2 a little bit and catch up. There's a light mist coming, I don't want the rain to beat me home. I mean, that might sound petty to you. Okay, that's fine. I think that going to court over a fucking over normal wear and tear on a car is next level, So I mean, I wouldn't say that, like, right. Oh, you guys, both sides is pretty much equal. Definitely.
I mean, listen, I don't think it's equal. It doesn't always have to be equal, but to be fair, arguing about who was more petty is in itself quite petty.
Well, checkmate, I guess, Lemmy. What the fuck can I say? I mean,
I'm starting to agree with Granny and Tuddle that this is some, like, 8th grade shit on an adult level. Like,
I couldn't agree with
you more. Of course, it's always been that. There was never a question on that. That's exactly what all this is.
That's the whole point, It's like, I made a prediction that she will cry on this show because she can cry on cue. And that the whole thing is fucking ridiculous. But damned if I'm not gonna, like, answer some of this shit. I mean, like she went on like I don't know how many shows on MLC. She's been very regular on there. Every time she's talked shit about me, I haven't said anything about her for a fucking year. I haven't said anything about her since we broken up. Why? Because I knew that, this is how she is. So
to be fair, the whole she's there is to talk shit about you. You know what I mean? That's the whole reason Kevin even wanted her there.
Or we could even put into a question mark. Is she the kind of person, just out of curiosity in your experience, would she be more chasing the limelight to further her career in the situation she is in right now? Or is she more there just to like, okay, at the end of a stream, she loves to flip off the screen for 10 seconds. Is she flipping you off for 10 seconds? Or is she just like, hey, I'm cool. I'm cool. Like, is the intent to just piss you off and say, fuck Pat Dixon? Or is it more like, I'm going to try to make it in the comedy arena in New York City? Is that a thing?
Well, I mean, people can have more than one motive for the same thing. Sometimes it works out happily that way. Yeah, I think it helped her, to have bad shit to say about me right when Kevin was mad, right when I'd lost my channel on YouTube and couldn't really say, like people are not watching on Rumble the way they were on YouTube, obviously. People don't make that transition with you automatically. So it's kind of like, it's an easy one, I mean, she's going to obviously side with herself and with, anybody at Compound or whatever. And a lot of it's personal too, because, like she said, we'd probably get back together if we did a show together. I'm like, I would never do that. I would never have anything to do with her again. It's ironic. I'm the one that's afraid of her, and I'm not trying to sound like a victim, but I know that that's a fucking hot stove. I want nothing to do with her. And I haven't for all this time. There's been no violation of any fucking order. She says that as if it's just a fact. How is anybody going to check? Look at anything that I've ever said. And here's the other part. In that order, I was like permitted to talk about her. There was no, the judge looked at that stuff and was like, everything that you've written here, all these additional things, that doesn't come into play. This is serious. So it has nothing to do with anybody like talking about you or causing you to lose work or anything like that. And I know the details of this are all so silly and stupid, but I felt the same way, Lemmy, when I was in court having to fucking talk about this shit. I couldn't believe this was being litigated in a court by a judge, that there's other people, like we're actually talking about you saying I vandalized your fucking car. I mean, my attorney said, when did you see him do this? She's like, I didn't. When did you see him do this? I didn't. When did you see him do this? I didn't. It's like, there you go. I mean, it's like, the idea that I would like scratch up her fucking car is that's exactly what I'm talking about, Lemmy. It is petty. But to you, it sounds like, oh, who scratched up what? But to me, it sounds like.
No, not really. No. Nope. I'm not really even. I'm getting the gist of each detail. You know what I mean? And I'm making a all over observation. You know what I mean? I'm not. I feel first, but I'll like quell that. And then I like try to logic math it out. You know what I mean? And then my brain turns into like, oh, okay, this. And it's just. I don't know. I get where it's good for like content purposes and stuff like that. But me personally, I would have, if I didn't want it going farther than Felicia being a fucking big mouth liar or whatever on MLC, I would have given it no fucking air. If I was asked about it on stream, I'd have been like, fuck that bitch. She's a liar. I'm moving on. You know what I mean?
When's the first time you've even brought her up, in honesty, though? In fairness to Pat, when's the first time that you ever even said her name recently?
This week. I mean, my first impulse was like you, let me to do that, to just go like, I'm not gonna talk about this shit. I'm gonna let it go. And I let it go, and I let it go, and I let it go. And it didn't go away. It was escalating. And I did feel as if I was being baited into something, and I probably was. And that's her justification, I guess, now for doing this. I mean, like, sorry that I wanted to speak up on my own behalf at some point, because you see stuff that people say in the comments, and they're like, if even half of this is true, he sucks. And, it's like, well, I'm the wronged party here. 100%. 100%. You know, and I had to be accused of this shit by her all this time. And she reframes it as, yeah, he was cheating the whole time. She always thought that. And so I think that she gets off on it being like, you know, being able to say this stuff and spread it around. She claims that she had an ex that talked a bunch of shit about her and stuff like that. I never heard anything, you know. So, I mean, she's one of these people who frames herself up as some kind of like victim, and people are all very willing to go along with it, you know, because she's a blue-eyed girl, you know, and she's like, sounds reasonable, sounds practical, and all that stuff. Get into a relationship with her, you know, it's all I can tell you. You know, find out how soul destroying it is to be second class, third class, last class, all the time, treated like shit by somebody, and then have them go and trash your name. You know,
I was married to a Marine for 10 years, so that all of that actually did happen.
Did you like it?
No, but I didn't give it any breath. And now, legit, we're friends. You know what I mean? I let him spurg out, be emotional, run my name through the mud. And I have gotten several apologies for just that over the last 9 years.
Well, our cases
You know
are
what I
really
mean?
not, our cases are not analogous. You know, I mean, I don't see any similarity at all, but I do believe that you understand what it's like to be treated badly. I mean, sure.
Yes, I do.
But I mean, I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I mean, is the reference just to the size and scope of where the trashing is happening? I guess, is that the difference, the size of the audience that's hearing the lies?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. Lemmy, maybe that's more of a question for you, because obviously your shit probably wasn't put out there in public to the point where tens of thousands of people were.
Oh no, not tens of thousands, no. But I was
like
trashed
an
in court.
MLC. Right. No,
You know
we're
what I
talking like an MLC audience where Pat may be trying to get comedian gigs in the future, and if they thought all that shit was true, probably wouldn't be great for his career.
Well, she's trying to go to the heart of you know, where I work, you know, and the people that
yeah, that's fair. To. But if there's no evidence or like police reports and shit like that, it's easily refutable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can refute it all you want, but what I'm saying is like a certain number of people drop on they're like, oh, okay, you know, and then especially if you have Kevin on there going, oh, really? Wow, okay, wow, he's really a bad guy. Now, Kevin wanted me to look like a bad person too, because you know he's, you know, for other reasons with the show or whatever, you know. I mean, like anybody who had any question about me not being on the show anymore or whatever, hey, look what a bad guy he is, you know. So I mean, it served him that way too. And he has a lot of stuff that he says about me that are kind of like that don't really make a lot of sense. But I mean, I guess if you're that upset about it, I didn't mind not doing the show anymore. But you know, bringing her on to do that, I don't know. I mean, it's that's for views and stuff, I guess, but and other reasons, you know, whatever.
Watching your arc as of late has kind of sucked. Like just seeing the YouTube channel go down and whatever.
Well, don't think that the two things are unrelated entirely. You know what I mean? Like it's the timing is all very suspect.
And I agree that she's an opportunist, and like I don't necessarily hate her. I don't really necessarily like her either. She does seem like she's full of shit, and she's kind of an opportunist, from what I've heard. Like she kind of weaseled her way on to In Hot Water and
you want to hear
like gigs and shit.
You want to hear something funny, Lemmy? I don't hate her, and I do like her. You know, I've always liked her. I've always been crazy about her. You know, like I look at it now, and obviously I'm like, wow, that is a mean, dangerous person or whatever. I mean, she's very, very savvy as far as like what she's doing right now. You know, I mean, like that's how it seems to me. Like you said, an opportunistic thing, and you know, capable of a lot, but it doesn't have, you know, her making it reflect bad on me. That's just like a personal kick. You know, that's like she's trying to verify a bunch of other rumors too and stuff like that. Doesn't really have it is the problem. But when you say things can be refuted, things can't, you know, well, they can be refuted, But nobody ever demands the proof. Nobody ever goes like, well, what are you talking about? What is
You can't
this?
prove a negative, though. You know what I mean? So it's
exactly. And
but like, if you, here's the thing. Here's how I feel about like domestic abuse. If you don't report it, it didn't fucking happen. So like, ladies or gentlemen, if you are domestically abused, you need to fucking report that shit. Because if you don't, it didn't happen. Vis-a-vis,
yeah, you guys all better report it, or we'll fucking beat
abused.
you over it. That's right.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you're going to try and make a lot of a big thing about it later, especially, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no record of anything like that happening. But like, people do tend to side with the woman. I mean, that just feels like a safe position, and people take it. And okay, I guess, but I mean, what am I supposed to do in the meantime? I'm not guilty of any of this shit. So, and the cheating, man. I mean, she thought I was cheating on her the whole time. I don't see, and she would go through these like struggle sessions with me, trying to get me to admit something for hours. She would be, questioning me while I'm standing on one foot, trying to get me to admit these things. And I'm just like, look, if this is who you think I am, and you think I have no accountability, and you think, just this long list of bad shit, then why are we even together? Why would you even want to be with me? Go, let's break up.
That's right. No, that was my point. Like, she was saying that you were constantly cheating on her and doing drugs and were weird sexually, but she keeps like getting back together with you. Like, that doesn't track. That does
not only that,
if everything about you is shit, then why would she keep coming back to you over and over again? Like,
and when I would try to end it, sorry to cut in, but when I would try to end it over her saying like all this stuff, when I'm like, look, why are we even together? Then she would begin to be reasonable and go, look, and her whole thing would change. So she just, and then, I mean, I'll talk about this at 11. I don't want to go into too much detail because it's like we're missing the whole show over there, but Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I mean, yeah, when I'm trying to say like, look, you have no reason to be with me. You think I'm the worst person in the world. So why don't we just drop it? And if she really thought I was cheating all the time and really was the worst person ever, you would think, she'd be like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't want to be with somebody who cheats on me all the time. But she must have had that last little bit of doubt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and we're like 1/3 of the way through this, and they just ended. So it ended up being a hour and 20-minute video. So
wow, I guess she didn't have as much as she thought.
Yeah, no, like I can't imagine she showed too much proof if they end in whatever, like 30-40 minutes after where we're at. So there's no way bringing out videos and fucking and DMs like she said she was going to do. She said she pretty much was saying like she's going to lay out a court case against you, but it does not appear that happened. You can hit play. Let's hear.
But later on, you know what she'll say. Like on MLC or whatever. I went on Keith and the Girl. I laid it all out. I put all the receipts out there. I don't know what else I can do. I mean, like that. She'll say that. It's like it's so funny, man. It's such a funny thing.
Yeah, maybe hit play on it while I'm gonna scrub through it, see what I can see.
Sick. And I don't. So it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I follow.
What do you want to know? Well,
I'll tell you. When I was hearing these clips recently, somebody asked him, "What does she have against you? Does she have some kind of proof or whatever?" And he goes, "Well, she might have digital information on me or something." And the guy's like, "What?"
I didn't say
yeah, like text messages, DMs, like that.
I mean, once or twice,
of
maybe
course.
I got mad, and yeah, we're not always at our best when we're mad. So this has to be some violent fucking messages for him to even admit that.
Violent fucking messages.
That's what he's doing.
This guy is a guy.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Keith and the Girl, by the way?
The guy said like,
I do not. I've never watched it. I just looked it up today because I found out Felicia was going to be on there. So of course, when I decided we were going to stream snipe this, I was like, "Oh, check it out." But I watched a couple of old episodes. It's unwatchable dribble, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it's just him now. The girl is gone, but it was Keith and the Girl in the beginning, and they were dating, and they had been a couple for a while. And then they decided, let's do a book to sell to our fans. Well, while they were writing the book, or between that when they wrote it and the book came out or whatever, they broke up. But they kept living together and saying they were together in order to sell their relationship book. You know, I mean, it's the height of dishonesty. And they later said all this stuff. Turned out the girl decided she was gay.
That's a good trick to pull on someone. That's always a nice one.
I mean, that's
the
just
Kevin Meaney trick. It's a meanie bajini trick, isn't it?
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Like, what more specific does she have? And he goes, I don't know. I'm like, you don't know? Because I know everything my exes have on me. Nothing.
You know what you've done.
Yeah.
You know
Which
what
I
you've
eventually,
done.
I eventually did say nothing.
That I admit to.
Right.
Yeah. So that was. I had a lot of audio recordings because when I was in that place where it's like he won't leave, he won't let me get out.
Jesus.
I'm just gonna start recording what's going on because it was a lot of that. Right. So I started doing that, and I got everything that I need.
I did say, anytime you want to go to the office, I will sign and you can go anytime. So when she says I wouldn't let her out, what do you mean I won't let you out? You're afraid of me. Go, run for your life. You know what I mean? Like, it's this whole thing about Elise. It's ridiculous. And of course she could have gone. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He did. In 4 days, and because it was that severe. So
how bad does that get? The messages.
You can hear him physically get in my face. He would physically intimidate me a lot around the apartment. So you can hear him physically get in my face. You can hear him physically rip my phone out of my hand and me tell him to get out of my face. You can hear him verbally abusing me. You can hear him trying to intimidate through slamming doors, like in the apartment, not the front door, but like the kitchen door and like cabinet doors. It's so fucking loud. He's calling me a cunt around the place and stuff like that.
With a K?
And so with a K, tuna cunt.
Oh,
yeah, that was my nickname when I lived with Pat.
Not nice.
I'm not gonna.
And
is that real? Tuna cunt? Is that a joke? Was that a joke or was that real?
I guess she's
trying to claim that
private joke that they have or something. I don't know. There's no. I think she was kidding about that. But did I? Yeah, I probably called her a cunt. Yeah, sure.
So what's the deal with the smashing cupboards and slamming drawers? What's that?
Okay, well,
obviously you could do that yourself. Anyone could just turn on an audio recording and slam shit. But anyway, if that's real.
And at what point does like shutting a door become a slam of the door? You know, I mean, I guess there's some point that a lot of people could agree on. But
I've slammed a shitload of doors, and I've slammed a shitload of. I've done it a lot. It's all right.
I would also say, what does slamming doors have to do? I mean, like, if I'm walking around constantly slamming doors to unnerve her or something like that, okay, yeah, that would be one thing. But like, yeah, I mean, if you here's another thing too, and look, I mean, I know this all sounds so stupid and petty. But if you've got the windows open and the door open and shit like that, doors like have a tendency to catch wind and slam too when you don't necessarily mean to shut it that fucking hard. So like, you know, yeah, I probably have slammed a door in my life or two, you know, but there was no like intimidation by door slamming going on. I mean, that's pretty silly.
Go ahead, play.
His version of those events is
pause it actually real quick. Yeah, no, I scrubbed through while we were sitting here. I scrubbed through the entire episode, and he pulled up like a drawing for 2 seconds. So I don't believe she provided any like paper DMs. So I don't actually think she has anything that she said she was bringing to the episode. That was mainly what she said she was going to be doing.
I mean, if I thought that there was some big bunch of evidence that was going to be laid out, I wouldn't be here sitting here fucking, you know, bullshitting about it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason to give it air is because it's because it is such bullshit. I mean, that's kind of the reason to give it air. It's because everybody look at this. And I also don't when she says like his version of things. Okay, let me tell my version. You know what I mean? Like your version of my version is not going to be my version.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that is kind of my point of having you here tonight. If I'm going to defend myself for being the scumbag that's having Pat Dixon, the woman beater, blah blah blah. Like, there's a long list of shit that I'm now going to be called. The ball washer, the Pat Dixon ball washer, dick rider, blah blah blah. All you did was have him on and agree with everything he said. No, actually, I'm just allowing him to be on YouTube to defend himself because you're kind of fucking stuck over there on the other fucking place, not being able to.
Good thing I'm not. Good thing I'm not a featured guest.
Well, you were the featured guest tonight, so that worked out fine. The other fellow found his way out the side door, and that's fine with me. It's all right. Yeah, let me run through. I think I had some questions in here with the super chats. Maybe run through some of those real quick while you're here.
Okay. Yeah.
Steve C, it's a sad day when Ray DeVito called out Pat Dixon for being abusive to women. Then a few months later, Felicia confirms Pat is toxic.
Wow. Right. Okay. So Ray says it non-specifically, and she says it basically non-specifically. Yeah, sure. I'm toxic. Don't date me, Steve C.
Yeah, I'm not going to date you. That's a fact.
I'm undateable.
After all I've heard, it's not going to happen. Didka 89, $5. Thank you. Hey, Pat. Hope you have been well, brother. Still think you have the best Paul Lynde and Stuttering John impressions in the game.
How kind of you. But come over and watch the show on Rumble at 11 then, Ditka. I'll be there. And we still have a bunch of stuff to talk about that she said on MLC yesterday. I'm going to do it. I know that I get it. But, people seem to enjoy it. And we had a lot of fun with it last night.
Yeah, I was there. I've actually watched the last 2 streams you did. That's actually why I asked you on when you finally fucking shot back and had a response for the other day. I was like, oh, all right, here we go. It's something interesting that's in the middle of the Dabbleverse we're talking about. I like it. So it's good.
Damn, Lemmy left.
She's still here. She had to go do something. Okay. Super happy fun chatter, $2. Ray has multiple super cuts on how he treats women.
That's true too. I never thought. I mean, how are you supposed to treat women? I appreciate what he's saying because Ray being my supposed accuser or whatever, he apologized for that. But that's funny. But I mean, like women are equals. They say some bad shit, so
Oh yeah, 100%. No, it's crazy to think that you and Ray squashed it, man. You guys squashed it on MLC. It's not been that long ago. It's kind of crazy to think that both you guys haven't really been on MLC. It hasn't really been that long.
It hasn't been that long. My last time was the 10th, I think, of March or something.
Drive by $10. There's no doubt that Felicia is an absolute psycho, but it's her look that I find most disturbing. It's like Carrie meets Little House on the Prairie.
That is so accurate, though.
Yeah, like that shirt. Yeah, specifically that shirt helps the look.
Yeah, she does have that. I mean, I could see her in like one of those like long white nightgowns like they wear, on Little House on the Prairie and stuff. I appreciate the sentiment.
The Waltons. Yeah, like the Waltons. Yeah. Good night, John boy. Good night. Yeah, right.
Good night,
like
KB. Good night, Paul.
Yeah, Paul. Peter Sky Parker. Pat, did you know why Felicia is mad at you?
That's what I was laughing about. Yeah. Do I? I'm not mad at Felicia. I'm not.
PSP.
I'm not mad at Felicia.
Coming in with the goof chats.
Yeah.
Steve C, $5. Pat definitely has a pass with ladies. When there's smoke, there's fire. Pat, why are all the ladies you have a past with saying the same things about you?
It's a good question. I mean, because that's not what I've experienced, really. All the ladies I have a past with, well, I have a pretty extensive past there with Chrissy Mayer, and all she said was that I slapped her too hard on the ass one time. And she said that because she felt like she had to. She was kind of pressured to, I think, because she wanted to give this appearance that I was this bad guy, company line and all that shit. And she certainly didn't say that. She said, I would have never brought this up, was what she said. So that leaves Felicia. Is Felicia all the girls I have a past with? No, I mean, my ex-wife. 3 of them, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, all 3 of them. Let's not leave out the other 2. Jeez, why are you singling one out?
Well, which ones are you quoting? Steve C, with a hat that all say the same thing. You can say something like that, and it's just more smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Really? I mean, like, it's just ridiculous. Okay, look, Carmen Lynch never said a word about any of these things because they're not true. It didn't occur to her to go trashing me. She was happy with where she was, I guess. Now, there was one girl that I was seeing, just before I broke up with her to go with Felicia. Her name was Courtney, and she came sort of, she's not an entertainer or anything like that. But she did start contacting people like Kevin and over at Compound to like, hey, I have I can say a bunch of bad shit about Pat Dixon, and had a receptive audience over at Compound. Had sex with the host of one of the shows over there the whole time that she was in the city. She claimed that she was going to be moving to New York with me, and I have texts that show that I say, don't do that. You shouldn't do that. There's no reason to do that. We're not going to live together. So she claimed, that's one thing she claimed, but she also said, I made her feel like a queen. She said, I felt so special. I've never been treated so well by anybody. That's why it's so heartbreaking. That's what she said. Haha. And so
this is the one that said that she said you told her to sell her car. She moved from Pennsylvania to New York, and then you left her abandoned after 10 months of no rent paid in a place that you guys had together. Is basically the story that I've heard multiple times. I mean, whatever. Here's pretty much.
I did make an arrangement with my landlord to pay him less than what was owed. He just wanted me to leave. You know what I mean? He's like, it was during COVID and all that stuff. There's a lot of people struggling with rent. I was one of them. And that's what happened, is that we had an arrangement. I didn't skip out on anything. He was completely fine with it. In fact, he was smiling, joking, saying like, well, if you ever win the lottery, make sure you come back and take care of us. But other than that, don't worry. He was just like, yeah, it's fine. I'm glad you're going. Okay. So that's the rent thing. I also had just been through a divorce too. So, I mean, the situation changed, I'm not going to get a roommate in a place that size. It has to either be a girlfriend or nothing, or a wife. And I tried that later with Felicia. It didn't work out. What else? That I left her high and dry. I told her that we weren't getting a place together. She goes, do you want to look at apartments? And I'm like, no, I mean, there's no reason to consider my input, get something that's right for you and your dog. And so I mean, she wasn't left high and dry. That's all like, first of all, I don't know how much of that she said and how much of it was said by the person saying she was saying it. You know what I mean? Like, I think there was a little bit of telephone there where we had some escalation of what she was claiming. Because I asked her, I was like, why did you say that you were living with me or something? And she's like, I never said that. So that's, I know where the escalation is.
Oh, like, I mean, would she wouldn't argue that point? Like, if you talk to her today on a podcast, like,
she might, but it wouldn't be true. I've got text of her saying otherwise. I mean, I've got whole text conversations with her where I'm going, yeah, I'm just saying, I'm not ready for a relationship and I don't want to live together. You know, I mean, that's pretty cut and dried, you know, when you say it more than once, you know. So if she could say it, but I could go, well, what about this from July 2nd? You know? Yeah. I mean, I didn't want, now she came to New York, right? And I was intending to take her down south, but I took Felicia instead. Now that's an asshole move. I agree. That's an asshole move. I was intending to take her down to just for, you know, a family celebration kind of thing. And like, I ended up taking Felicia, and I'm sure that didn't feel good. But then she was like, well, I have no place to go.
But you took Felicia right after the punch happened, and then you took Felicia a different time, or is that the same?
No, yeah, it well right after, yeah, it was right after that, but it was like July 4th. So that was from the 20th and
like a week or two later, then
couple weeks,
because that,
yeah, and we were, and the thing was, is that's I wanted to be with Felicia, you know what I mean, and I didn't feel like I wanted to be with Courtney in a relationship, but I also felt like I definitely am not gonna get a place with her. I mean, if I'm such a user, I have to wonder why I wouldn't have taken Courtney up on her offer. Courtney said, listen, I'll get a place. I'll pay all the rent. You don't have to pay anything. I just would like for you to be there. I think you've had it hard enough. It's time that you get to rest a little bit and just, you know, get your bearings. I'll pay for a place. You can just be there. And I was like, nah. I mean, at first it sounds pretty sweet. I might have gone like, oh yeah, maybe so, you know, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So I didn't. So, I mean, like, she was like basically rolling out the red carpet for me to be an exploiter and a user and stay in New York and everything. And I was like, no. I told her I didn't want to live with her. You know, I said, if you move to New York, do it for you. Do it because you want to be here, not to be with me.
Yeah, so it's on her as far as you're concerned.
It's on me. Yeah, I think there's nothing more I can do than just say it outright. You know what I mean? Like, other than that.
Yeah. Captain Fantastic, $5. Pat, did Gino really bang one of your exes 5 times in one night? And was it Felicia or the hot one? Quite the question.
Can't really speak to anything in that question.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, but I appreciate the you know.
Okay, I was sent just out of the blue. I'm not trying to be a weirdo, but yeah, I was told that the order that it was brought up, the reason we can't have those conversations with that, but that date has come and gone, and that you're kind of free from that. Is that not the case?
It's not the case. No, the order. Well, no, you're asking me if I have an order of protection on me related to something that happened in June. Okay, that's what you're asking, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
My answer is yes, I do. The order of protection lasts until December of 2025. 2025.
Yeah,
so it is.
So on your paperwork, it says 2025 flat out. That's that.
Well, I have the paperwork that perhaps your reference. Yes, it does. I mean, for short answer, yes. And it's the most recent from the last court hearing that I had. The last court hearing that I had. Full and final order of protection to expire December 2025. Now, there is an earlier thing that says that it's
a temporary order, which came previous, which makes sense because that's how those go usually.
Yeah, it was an order,
temporary one, and then they have one that's put into place at a later date.
Yeah, they saw that it was going. Yeah, exactly. They thought it was going to. They could see that it was going to expire during a certain period of time, so it needed to be, you know, renewed. And so that's what happens. Is it's renewed. It is in full effect. Nothing has changed. I am subject to the order of protection until December 2025. Period. And that's, you know, I could show you, you know, but I don't have, I mean, I will if you want. I could like, but I didn't want to
show it on. You can show it on at your leisure, but yeah, obviously, if you have it and you wanted to show it on your show or anywhere, I'm sure it would get around.
The thing is,
the fact that that's the case.
It's also a public document. You know, it's also a public document that anybody can find. Go to nyccourts.gov or something like that. It's not a secret. It's public. So, yeah, there's nothing secret about it.
Fair enough. Grizzly Adams. Grizzly Adams did have a beard. $5. Pat, you might be pleased to know Keanu blocked me and banned the typing of Pat Dixon into super chats after a couple of lighthearted questions. I assume that means on her podcast, I'm guessing.
She can do whatever she wants. You know, it's interesting to know. And
yeah, like you can, I know you can. They're like the Shuley Network. They have like a bunch of phrases that you can't say, words you can't say, names you can't say, and if you type them in, but whatever. People always find a way around that shit. Like instead of saying FUCK, it's FUKK, and obviously it gets around the system. So it's not that difficult.
Nobody's in any legal jeopardy from my name being mentioned. That's a fact. I mean, nobody's in any legal jeopardy from saying anything about me or anything like that. I mean, everybody in the world has the full freedom to say Pat Dixon all they want and to have it in their super chats. In my case, you know, if anybody's blocked, there's a legal reason usually, you know what I mean? Or it's just, you know, that's all I'm saying. But all information pleases me. So yeah, I'm pleased to know anything. Thanks.
Star Mountain, $2. How long ago was all of this?
That's probably related to what she was saying. 2022. I first had sex with her in 2004, right after I had the woman try to murder me. But then there was a 16-year gap. I didn't find her. She came back like a boomerang.
Coach, $10. Thanks, Coach. Quad, have you retained counsel for your upcoming meeting with an investigator from the DA's office in New York City related to your interview with Stevie Lou's attacker? No, I have not. I'm going to go in there without any legal counsel. And then I will go to the stand the next night to heckle Ray DeVito at the stand on May 7th. Just to be extra rude. No, I'm joking. But yeah, definitely, man. I got up. Kevin Brennan is always right, and I got caught up in this Kenyatta interview thing, man. And boy, oh boy, am I in deep shit now. Kevin Brennan, he knows his legal. He knows all the legal issues that come from interviewing someone about a crime they had allegedly committed. You can't do that, apparently. The nightly news never does that. They absolutely do not stick their noses in the middle of a criminal situation. That just does not happen. So, as we all know, whatever Kevin says is correct.
I thought it was Ray that had him on.
Yeah, I was there with him. It was me and Ray cooked it up. So I get grouped in with that one. No problem with me. I know the law, and the law won.
What have I lied about, Steve? Steve C says Pat is a compulsive liar. What did I lie? I mean, you can say you can't really show anything that I've lied about. I will assure you of that. You can say, well, she proved this, and you said you didn't. Did she though? I mean, no. I'm a compulsive liar. I'm a regular liar, like anybody else.
No, a regular liar. Good one. I'm a regular liar, just like everybody else is, fuckers. Edgar, member for 3 months. Thank you for being a member for 3 months, folks. And that's right. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and of course, get your membership. The memberships is pinned at the top of the chat. So all you got to do is follow that link right there. Simple as pie. Edgar, yeah. Hey, Pat, you better act like a man.
Yeah, there's no acting involved. You know, I'll just be myself.
Act like a man, talk like a man, walk like a man. Mr. Kill MKE, Mr. Kill Everything, who I believe you've had on your show, correct, Pat?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, $5. Thank you. The missus and I actually watched Pat talk to Pat and have never heard Pat talk about her before. Pat talked about Chrissy and his wives, but not her, till this whole MLC debacle. That's kind of where I'm at with it. And like I said before, I've always enjoyed all of your content. Honestly, after the punch happened, and I didn't really realize, that it was what it was going to be at the time. I gave you a year's worth of locals. I've been watching your locals, like all that stuff. Obviously, I see you on Censor TV. I'm a sub over there, so I don't ever recall you bringing that shit up one fucking time. In honesty.
Okay. Well, maybe that's the way to go. Maybe I should just individually ask everybody, or have everybody individually tell me, yeah, no, I never heard you say anything about her, because, between you, Mr. Kill Everything, and all the other people who are regular viewers of all this stuff, you'd think somebody would have heard something. You'd think somebody could point to something, and say this, but I haven't.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine it would have got clipped or anything along those lines, right?
Well, I mean, I thought that was what she was gonna, I thought she was going to show all these clips of me saying all this shit.
Apparently, zilch, nada, from what I could tell, just scrubbing through it. I'll go back and finish.
What did the drawing look like? Was it a line drawing or something?
Okay, so if you go, Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind skipping ahead till 16 minutes before the end, I think you could find it. Just scrub through it on your own. You'll see a picture, like a drawing. There it is. You just saw it. All right, here it comes.
What's it called? Night Cafe. Yeah. So that
what is that?
Posted that in.
Why is it in black and white? I wonder.
I don't know. She's about to explain where you posted this, apparently, is what she's saying. I know it's a drawing. So what is it even fucking? I didn't understand, just blatantly taking a short peek at it. But
I thought it might be this. What this is an AI creation. And I did and she apparently relates to the prompt that's included in this. So because it shows you what the prompt is, and maybe that ended up being the title. I don't know. But her name isn't in this. There's she's the one making this oh, this is about me. I mean, the fact that she's reaching to this is wow. By the way, excuse me. This was posted on and only on a relatively obscure AI thing called Night Cafe, I think, where I did a few things and put them up there. AI stuff, little AI creations. Okay, let's hear what they say.
So what I'm holding up right now is black and white, but the real picture, it's either blue or green around the eyes, and then the lips. It's blood. It's red and it's blood.
Oh, it's blood.
Yeah, and read people the prompt down there, the description of the photo.
Mentally ill, paranoid, and vindictive, blonde, blue-eyed woman, 35, with round face, dead eyes.
Is that? I wonder who he's talking about.
Is that a perfect description of me?
Where the fuck did that come from? So that was the violation of the order of protection. I sent that to my lawyer, and she was like, "Yeah, he absolutely can't do this." And I'm like, "What about freedom of speech?" And she goes, "That doesn't count on social media. If the only reason that he had to post that was so that you see it and so that other people see it and share it or whatever," which is how I saw it. And she goes, "That's."
Okay, yeah. Thanks for pausing.
Have you ever heard of Night Cafe?
No.
Have you ever? You've never seen this picture, and nobody has, and nobody would have. But it got tweeted out by somebody who wasn't me, but somebody who doesn't like me, and somebody who was trying to get greater exposure, claiming that it was. I think that somebody, I don't even remember who it was, claimed that that it was part of a tweet that I deleted or something. I don't know. But it was never tweeted out or anything. I didn't even know that it would post, to be honest. I mean, this was something I was doing personally on my own. And anyway, it doesn't matter. There's no reference to her in it. I'm allowed to create art on AI that says anything.
I would think so.
And here's the
but you didn't say her name. I got a couple questions for you. Did she have an order that she couldn't be responding to your social media also? It's not just one-sided, right?
No, I need to make this clear. There was no order that I couldn't talk about her. I could talk about her all I wanted. That was not included. That's what I was saying, is the judge looked at that part and he was like, we don't do that here. None of that is effective. None of that is in effect.
So they pretty much just said you had to stay away from her, like the 250 feet away from her or whatever, shit like that.
A specific measure, but it's also like, I I can't believe she's saying that that's a violation of some order of protection. No, man. I mean, like, that is nuts. That is a crazy thing to say. I mean,
that's a stretch in my mind. In my mind, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Because even if there was an order that I can't talk about her, which there wasn't, I could have made that picture right there, and I could have called it Felicia Gillespie is a bitch, right? I could have drawn pictures all day long of her and said Felicia Gillespie is a bitch too. Felicia Gillespie's a liar. I could have done all of that shit. And it wouldn't be a violation of anything. There was nothing in the order saying I couldn't talk about her. Nothing. I couldn't communicate with her. So if I would have like put an @ or something, but again, I haven't even looked at Night Cafe in forever and never looked at it then. I never look at anybody else's stuff. Everybody creates stuff. There's some little community over there, but nobody gave a shit about this. I mean, the views on it are like, trust me, it is. But I can't believe that she was even monitoring it. And then when I saw that somebody, and by the way, this thing is also from fucking 2022, or not 22, but I guess 23. But I mean, this is from a long time ago. This is not anything. It certainly doesn't violate anything. There's nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't track with me. I could agree with you there.
Why is she saying I have 4 divorces? I don't have 4 divorces.
Yeah, 3 at best, right?
3, yeah.
She threw an extra one in there just for spite, I guess. Energy drink spite, $2.
Why is it not a good look? I mean, that's like saying a woman can't get 4 abortions or something like that. You know, I mean, like it might be not part of your life or something you think is very good. You know, I'm old. I had 3 divorces by the time I was like, 50 or so. I was 50. 3 divorces.
I'm 50.
I'm 50. I have no fucking. I don't take it. Thank you. It's not a good look. Okay, that's good. You know what? And I said this. You know, like I used to talk about this with Chrissy Mayer when I was dating her. It was part of my thing. It's like, well, my folks don't like you, and I'm like, well, I've got 2 divorces. I live in New York. I'm a comedian, and I've got 2 roommates. You know, like so. I don't like me either. You know what I mean? If my daughter brought me to be like, I want to date this guy, I'd be like, fuck this. You got to get away from this loser.
Just by all outward appearances, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, yeah. And yeah, all outward appearances. Let's say that. Yeah. I get it. I'm not dateable. I wouldn't date me. Don't date me, Angie Drinks.
Yeah, I always kind of go back to the Chrissy thing too. Like, and she was saying that yesterday, like, oh, and they like you guys you and Chrissy were doing a Trump election show, something like that, and you guys were sitting like right head to head, almost like touching each other, and you were being all like, it's like, but you've hung out with Chrissy Bear a shitload of times ever since you broke up. Whatever she says, whatever. I've never even heard her say anything, honestly, but apparently that's a thing. I think she may have said it. Right.
She said something about me spanking her too hard, and it was a joke as far as I'm concerned. I mean, like at the time it was nothing. And it's not the kind of thing that I was like, oh my God. It's like, for one thing, it's nothing. And here's the other part. Chrissy and I were friends, before I left Compound. We were, I'm not going to say tight or anything like that, but she would text me. I would text her. I mean, we texted frequently. I wouldn't say frequently, but it wasn't unusual. And she would ask me to do a show. I would ask her to do a show. We would do a show. I mean, we were friendly. She wasn't creeped out by me. She wasn't, there was no issue there. We were fine.
Fair enough. Ace, why does Ray gossip about Pat's past with women?
Well, he did at that time because Stevie Lou baited him and said, "Oh, Pat was he was trashing you on MLC. He was saying that you did all this creepy stuff with women." And then, and Steve,
no, that's not like Stevie Lou at all to try to start a fake skirmish, is it? A work, if you will.
No. I mean, I was like, Ray, go back and watch it. I didn't say anything like that, okay, at all. Yeah, I did text him to say that as soon as I heard, that he had said that. And then I started thinking, like, Ray, why would you say I have a bad past with women? So that was his response to Stevie Lou baiting him, saying after he had just been told that I was talking trash about him. That's why.
Yeah.
So I mean,
exactly.
put it on Stevie Lou.
He did the same thing to Air Jane, right? He heard someone in his chat told him she was on my show trashing him, and that's all it took. And that's where that clip came from, where he exploded on Air Jane. But
she was kind of clowning on him a little bit,
No, I don't disagree. My point was that all someone had to do was just come in the chat and say she's over there doing this, and he went off. Like he didn't go look and prove it for himself that it was happening. He just assumed it was real and went for it.
Well, I will say in her case, I do understand a little bit more why he might have been that way, because I think that he felt fed up. I mean, they'd had a lot they had a lot of history.
No, like
he was like, I'm taking the high road. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything bad about Ari Jane's a nice lady. Don't say anything bad about her. I don't want anything bad to happen to her and all this. He was always so well wishing. That when he heard that she was trashing him, he was just like, fuck this. I'm going to say what I really think. It was like Ray. That was Ray saying what he really thought.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Yo, how come? Why are you divorced 3 times? Huh? Why can't you stay married for more than a day and a half? All that shit. I wrote all of it down. Some of the best.
It was hilarious. I always enjoy a good fucking rant. I enjoy everybody's rants. I don't give a fuck. I'm impartial. I enjoy ranting. It's fun. I usually get a laugh. Edgar, $2 is call being cool FI as fuck. Pat, embrace it.
I think you
being
meant
called
like
cool as fuck.
I think he meant to say I call it being cool as fuck. Pat, embrace it. I think something like
there
that.
you go.
Okay,
I call it being cool. It's very cool.
Very cool.
All right. Tip $5. Great to see Pat on BYB. I'll see you in Hackamania. Use promo code Pat. Hackamania. That's right.
Hackamania.com. Promo code Pat. See me there. Thank you.
Star Mountain 2. Yeah. Thank you, Tiff. Star Mountain $2. That long ago, then none of this matters. Like we said, it's kind of just getting it out there. You're just kind of getting your chance to throw it out there and be done with it. I kind of feel like you'll have some more answers later tonight on your show. You'll probably bring it up a time or two more and move on, I would assume.
Well, I mean, look, if she's made such a big deal out of it that I kind of feel like if I shy away from it or try to be like, I'm above that, then it doesn't really do me any good. And I might as well have some fun with it, and make fun of it and laugh about it, because what the fuck? I mean, it's I know the truth, so there you go.
Daytwa, $10. Thank you, Daytwa, the lovely Daytwa coming in with $10. Pat Dixon, I said it. Is that just a statement? We all know.
I think it was also before I was saying that you can't get any legal trouble for saying my name. So maybe that's what she's doing. I like it.
She's getting in trouble now. Wait until you get your call from the DA, Daytwa. Wait till it happens to you. It's not so funny then. Dicka 89, $4.99. Thank you, sir. Pat, can you speak to the theory Chrissy and her beta beau got your channel struck?
Well, yeah, I can. Should I, Derek? I mean, is that something you want on your show? I'm going to say this.
I like it all out there. I'm not afraid of anything, so go for it.
Well, initially, I thought that was the case. I did. Initially, I just felt sure of it, But looking at it now, I don't necessarily think that. I certainly wouldn't rule them out as. I mean, look, trust me, they didn't shed any tears over me losing my channel on YouTube. That's a fact. They you know, they have a baby, they're married. They could care less about me or anything that happens to me. And, you know, they probably would be generally favorable towards me losing my channel, at least that. But it was no big deal to get my channel taken down because, like, it was all they had to do was be reported. This guy had a channel before that got banned, so he's banned. He channel.
Circumvention, right?
Yeah,
the word circumvention.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I can speak. The only thing I can speak to, I really don't know if they had anything to do with it or not. I looking at everything as it is now, I kind of think I kind of have some other people in mind, but it doesn't matter. I mean, there's nothing I can. I'm on Rumble now, you know, so, and I'm there every night, just like before. Same video quality, if not better. Everything is great. It's just, you know, getting the audience to go to Rumble is always not so easy. So everybody, please do go over tonight. I mean, I'm going to drop the link as soon as we get done here, so people can watch the show. It's on Twitter at Pat Dixon. Please just go over and watch for a little while and see if you're into it.
Yeah, it's just Pat Dixon, right? I don't even think there's an @ on Rumble. It's just Pat Dixon.
Yeah, and on Twitter though, if you wanted, because that's where I'm going to drop the link. And I don't. There's no space.
Okay, yeah.
For some reason, on where to find me on there is thank you very much. Thanks, man. That's great.
So yeah, Pat Dixon, as you see there on Twitter or X or whatever the hell, at Pat Dixon. He's got locals. He's got a link tree where you can find all of his stuff too, so that helps. And Censor.tv with the New York City Crime Report, which is one of my favorite of your shows, honestly.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. One of my
favorite
of my shows. I do too many.
You and Douglas Nelson do a lot of that one. I enjoy.
Yeah, it's very
Doug
true.
Nelson, he's a good man.
Doug Nelson is a good man. He's a good guy. I think he may be a new AI voice that we have, because we have an AI voice of Felicia over on my Rumble, an AI voice of Kevin, and some of the stuff people put in these people's mouths is so great. There's one of Chad, of course. There's a few. It's funny. They always have her saying, "Good one, boss."
Yeah. I sent you one. Yeah, whatever. I use the system a lot. For some reason, it's been messing with me the last couple times I've tried to use it with my credit card. I don't know what the deal is. It's being a jerk. It's being a joke.
Don't say that.
Mr. Blues.
Worked well last night. A lot of people came in with them last night.
Yeah, I did one. Mr. Blue Sky, 25 crooners. It. Okay. Great movie. It.
The Turn.
Uncle Jack, $5. Thank you, sir. Pat, some friendly advice. Always use liver shots. They kiss, but don't tell. Oh, I have proof. Granny fears. Granny only on the Jack Shack tonight. Oh, okay. So you can go check out Granny on the Jack Shack. Uncle Jack's Jack Shack, to be correct. Peter Sky Parker, $2. Pat, you both loved each other. Go love and fucks her.
Nah, it's a sweet offer.
The ship sailed on that one, huh?
I can't, man. I mean, once somebody falsely reports you for some bullshit, and tries to involve court and stuff like that, and I'm not trying to paint myself as a victim, but yeah, I'm not going to ever engage there again. I mean, I finally learned my lesson, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Although she has reached out to me.
Ah, interesting. Yes. How recent? I would be an asshole if I didn't follow up on that one.
September.
Okay. Yeah, that's not. So, did you guys hang out this most recent Christmas Eve, or was that the Christmas Eve before? Is she talking about? She brought that up.
I think she said it was Christmas Eve.
Exactly what she said. Indeed.
Yeah, it was December 23rd. That breakup was one of the first breakup, maybe the second. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
so
she
that's
counts
really old news then.
I'm not really 100% sure how she counts them, but that's really old news. That was going back to well before Sullivan's and everything.
Oh, okay. Ace, $5. Stop giving Pat a hard time on these hoes. Need to be slapped around and they so they know their place. Wow.
Like I said, I don't use an open hand or a closed fist. It's only kicking. And but I mean, like it's it's pretty severe, I would have thought.
And ass slapping, apparently.
Yeah, an ass slapping.
Hard ass slapping, mind you. Indeed. Captain Fantastic, $2. GB's okay. I can't say the name. GB showing the actual order tomorrow on YouTube. All right. Pat, show your actual order. So I guess they want like a timeline is what Captain Fantastic's getting at.
It's publicly available.
My lost interest.
But,
one of our favorite folks in the Dabbleverse, I would have to say. I'm sure you would agree on that, Pat.
As a guy, he makes clips that are so watchable, and like I've even seen some people like steal his covers and stuff like that, even if they have nothing to do with their video, just to like boost their video count. So I mean, like that's how eye-catching and recognizable those thumbnails are. So well done. Yeah, I like stuff.
Yeah, he's put himself dead center in the Dabbleverse. He's well positioned for all of this shit. It's good stuff. And also, you could become you can now go to My Lost Interest page and become a member of his channel. So everybody go do that too after the show.
Why wouldn't
he's doing great work over there. But My Lost Interest, thanks for becoming a YouTube member on the BYB Podcast. Just a couple more super chats and we'll get out of here. I got Matt, Mr. Blue Sky, member for 4 months. Mad Cow, this is. All right. You guys are really confusing me tonight. I don't even know what the fuck you're trying to say now.
I thought they were talking about Granny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they apparently he quit the show during the show, which is interesting.
Did he quit?
That allegedly and really I'm not reading
he
text.
Quit this show. He didn't. You don't think he quit for all time or anything, do you?
Yeah, it's not what it sounds like to me, but it does sound
bullshit. I don't like this show.
I want to say exactly what Tuddle said when he left, and then I'm going to go off screen and act exactly the same as him, like a spoiled little bitch that can't enjoy a different kind of podcast for one fucking time out of all the shows we've ever done. We'll do one different one, and I quit because it's not what I want.
I mean, like, and little Emmy did say that she was in some sort of physical discomfort, in the private chat, so. She fucked up her foot. Oh yeah, no, she was showing us the stuff before the show. She hurt herself. Yes, we hope he had bad ribs too, but whatever. I hope they both heal up well. Ace $5. I sit with Quad. I stand with Pat. That bullshit Felicia deserved a slap. Wow, that's aggressive. I never said that, but yeah, okay.
Soup Party, $5. Her name wasn't even in the prompt. There's no law that says you aren't allowed to AI generate photos of angry, ugly women. Felicia is mad dumb. Confirmed.
I mean, that is really nuts. I don't know why her lawyer thinks that like, oh yeah. I mean, it's what's funny is that she read that description and was like, oh, that's me. That's me.
That's automatically me. It couldn't be any other blonde hair, blue eyed, 5 foot, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Like all those adjectives apply to me. By the way, she 35 is not accurate about her age. She's 40.
Oh, bum. Oh, she's over the hill. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that's in the prompt I said 35, and she ain't.
There you go. Steve C, $2. Ray equals autistic honest. Pat equals Adderallistic liar.
All right, prove it. I guess. I mean,
Oh yeah, she was trying to say whatever. you're on a bunch of drugs, way too many drugs, and you have like sexual whatever. I won't even go into that because
sexual what? Like I can't get it.
She was saying that you just like way over the top sexual, like maybe what do they call those people? Sex acts ish.
Right.
The blacks.
That's
no, not those ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a regular adult male sex drive, but it's again, that's an easy thing to say. Like, oh, I could go into her sexual stuff. I'm not gonna do that here. It's trashy, it's fucking silly, and it's like gross. Nobody wants to hear anything about that. Although they, even if it's salacious or something, I mean, which it kind of is a little bit, but
I was going to say in the Dabbleverse, are you kidding? Yeah, people actually do want to hear that. You're kidding yourself if you think otherwise. They do want to. Okay, they were asking like Stevie Lou and Felicia if they shaved their private area, and it was like,
that was gross.
Seriously, guys. And then they answered, which was worse. So it was like, come on.
That was gross.
Please no. Less of that. Hey, it's $5. My girl overcooked dinner tonight. She about to get a Dixon across the mouth.
Yeah, man. You can't be eating burnt dinner.
Mario Fingernails, $2. Love the Doug AI idea, but it will get messy and gay.
Oh man,
Dougie.
That sounds like a threat. Sounds like a real thing. I can't wait to see what they do with the Doug AI.
Yeah, Douglas Nelson. Yeah, he does all those drawings. Are a lot of them AI generated now? I'm sure once upon a time he had to draw everything out, but now there's a little cheat code.
Is that what? I don't know. Does he use that?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I always assumed he drew everything previously.
I think he does. He might do some photoshopping, but he does some drawing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a very good artist either way. But I mean, but once they present the shortcut, who wouldn't do that?
Exactly. But yeah, no, I've watched. I was watching his YouTube channel when he had like 10 people ever view his stuff, just because I was curious about it. He showed a bunch of like whatever. He did all that stuff on Crime Report, which good shit. He's good at it.
And he did a lot of stuff for Ant too.
Did I read the? Yeah. Okay. All right. 3 more. We're out of here. JC Ben SD, $5. It's Friday night. I'm a popular professional comedian with international credits, and I'm in your chat. Guess what's even more nuts? I'm not the only one. Boom. We love it. Thank you, professional comedians. Well, wait a minute. If Stevie Lou's a professional comedian, then I'm not impressed whatsoever. Never mind. I take it back. I'm not impressed.
Well, I mean, look, let's not apply it directly to Stevie Lou, but what Stevie Lou described, he said, I'm a professional comedian because I didn't have another job besides stand-up.
For a minute.
Okay. Well, that doesn't really mean you're a professional comedian. I mean, you might not have a job besides stamp collecting. It does, but like you're not a professional stamp collector or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just Stevie is.
No, it's absurd. It's absurd.
He's a hobbyist when it comes to comedy, and I don't say that as an insult. It's just a fact, and it's the same thing Kevin Brennan says. So take it up with him.
Yeah, he did. He called him out for it immediately. I liked that conversation.
Yeah, I don't
Mario Fingernail.
Yeah.
No, like Kevin definitely doesn't have any love for me at this point. It seems that way. But anytime he trashes Stevie Lou, I enjoy the hell out of it, or Chad for that matter.
You going to Hackamania? Is that why he got you out of his life?
No. I think just he sees me hanging out with Ray all the time, and Ray's his number one hatred at this point. So I think just me sitting next to Ray and being Ray's friend is put a fucking bullseye on my forehead. So be it.
That'll do it. Oh, plus you interviewing,
Kenyatta. Yeah. I did do the unspeakable act of inserting myself into a criminal situation, not an investigation, a situation. So I'm situated improperly.
Yeah, I mean, do you really have a meeting with the DA about that?
Yep. Sure, I do. Yep. Yep. Yep, I do.
Wow, and you have to show up, I guess, electronically.
Nope, I got to fly all the way across the country to be there, so I can be
on, you're
also.
kidding.
No, man, I really have to fly all the way across the country to talk to the DA and the chief of police for the New York City. And I have to go to the stand on the 7th. So there's a lot of reasons I have to go.
Okay, you're kidding about all this for sure.
Ah, heck. No, this is the realest thing I've ever brought up, ever.
Sorry, I'm slow.
It's all good. No, it's for fun. Mario Fingernails, $2. This is for Pat's Pimpan. No sleep. It lives.
Let's head to Vegas.
Vegas. Okay. There we go. No sleep till Vegas. I like it. It's kind of like a Beastie Boys song or something.
Yeah, see you there, man.
Captain Fantastic, $2. Gino is going to Hackamania. Pat's backing out. Bet me. I'm not going to bet. I would put my money on Pat. I would say 100% you and Ray will be there. Joey C is the only question mark. I think he swindled a bunch of people out of a couple grand and probably won't show up. But that's only because I seen him, I don't know, at the casino last night, for example. And I think, a guy that just got a couple grand in his pocket and he's hanging out at a casino when he's got Hackamania at the end of the month. Not a promising thought, but hey, we'll find out soon enough, won't we?
I guess.
Mr. Rapey Ray, €5. Thank you, sir. Mondays, Keith and the girl promises to have the actual nuker of Pat's channel. The tagline, "Yo, Dixon, this is payback. You feel me?" I think we know he's insinuating took you out. Mr. Ribs himself.
Maybe.
Yo, Mr. Dixon, may I interrupt? I don't miss hearing that. The Barry Ribs interruption at Compound Media was one of my least favorite things of all time.
Yeah, it was annoying. I mean, it was very annoying.
How about I sit on the couch and eat some chips while you guys do a fucking show? Sound like a good idea? Probably not. Edgar, $2. No one gets canceled in the Devilverse. Pat, relax.
I'm not afraid of being canceled at all. I'm not doing anything out of fear. You know, I'm just out of like, I don't know, man. Some things you just can't resist. I like to goof on it at least, you know, but I mean, then yeah, Jesus, whatever. Believe me, I'm not worried about that. Cancellation would probably be the best thing to happen to me. I mean, that's why I'm on uncensored, you know, the cancellation, the sort of cancellation that I had from Compound.
Yeah, I mean, well, whatever. That was a different situation. Okay, I guess I mean, we got that right now. So we got Bill and Joanne. They're doing a morning show over there on YouTube now. That's kind of interesting to see. All the people that have dropped off of Compound aren't doing so. You were killing it when you were going strong there on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube, I thought I was pleased, man. All the lines were going up and the money was pretty decent. You know, I was happy with the money so far. It was going really well. But, you know, some people don't like to see that happening, you know. Some people like to measure themselves by what other people are doing and stuff.
Yeah, but that's why places like Censored and Compound exist. How fucked is that they cancel your channel right before like payday of? That's got to be the most fucked up thing, that there's not some way that like that can't even be legal, right? We cancel your channel and take your fucking money, dude. That is insane.
Well, I mean, it took my source of money, but I did end up getting checks from them for everything that I had done that far. So I was happy about that. That's one thing.
Okay. I thought that they just swallow that and keep it. Okay, that's good to hear.
That's what I thought too. I really genuinely thought that, but as it turns out, that's not the case.
Well, good to hear. Actually, I always assumed they just kept it and were like, all right, bye. Good luck with everything.
Fuck you.
Thanks for the whatever thousands of dollars.
Thousands, yeah. Yep.
Once again, everybody go check out Pat Dixon. Thank you for coming here tonight. And of course, hit the like.
Go to Twitter right now and click that link because I'm going live the second I get off of here. The stream will be live and I'll be on at 11. So yeah, take a quick break and then come back and we'll goof on some of this stuff some more.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Pat, for coming tonight. And I do appreciate the hell out of it. Yeah, like if you just had one little final thought to say to Felicia, is there like one simple message you would like to say to her?
Enjoy, I guess.
I had to fight my whole life. I could beat you up even if you had 1,000 knives. Even if you had infinity knives, I would punch you up into the air like a kite. I bet you sleep with the night light, cause you're scared of the dark, cause you stink like a fart. Well, I like your fart on fire with my rhymes. You think I won't? I do it all the time. I bet I got more money than Jay-Z. Compared to me, Jay-Z is lazy. Plus Beyonce thinks that I'm cute. It's okay, Beyonce, I think you're cute too. I made out with so many girls. Made out with every girl in the world. I might look small, but I'm not. I don't care if you're big, I'll fight you. Well, I do know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stats, I bet you that she calls. Cause I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stats, I bet you that she calls.